I mean, sometimes this league is like this, and there are guys that have bad games. That doesn't mean you just bench them. Come on, you know better than that.
Bad is bad. Fields was 9 of 17 for a grand total of 45 yards. He was sacked 9 times for 55 yards. It's a net -10. He keeps his head up.
Got to keep going. I mean, there's no other option. There's 11 games left. So, like I said, that's the only option. There's nothing else. It's to keep going. So. Yeah.
The Jets take on the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina beating Dallas yesterday. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs over the Lions 30-17. You had Brian Branch punching Juju Smith-Schuster at the end of that game. Monday Night Football, the Bills take on the Falcons 7:15. Bears and Commanders at 8:15. The Mariners beat the Blue Jays 3-1, taking game 1 of the ALCS. Jorge Polanco, the go-ahead RBI single in the 6th. Game 2 tonight at 5 p.m. At 8 p.m., it will be game 1 of the NLCS between the Brewers and the Dodgers. The Rangers fall to the Capitals 1-0. Anthony Beauvillier scores the game's only goal. Devils in Columbus against the Blue Jackets tonight. The Islanders take on the Winnipeg Jets. This report brought to you by Paramus Chevrolet. It's 56 in Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN, now streaming on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps. It's Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata on WFAN, The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Who would think, BT, it just continues to get worse for the New York Jets. We finally had the Giants with an exciting win, and the Jets with a chance to win a game, played one of the uglier games that you've ever seen, and doing things that I'm not sure I've ever seen before, the way that end of the first half was managed, and even the end of the game by Aaron Glenn.
Listen, I think there's a lot of times here where we overreact, or we maybe lump in previous failures, and it becomes maybe a little bit bigger than it is in terms of just the emotion. I don't think anything that's been said, and I listened to the station this morning, I listened to calls all over social media, I don't think that there's anything that could be said today or will be said today that is unfair to the Jets, or more specifically unfair to Aaron Glenn. Somebody that we're all obviously rooting for, but Aaron Glenn at this point is absolutely overwhelmed. He is now lecturing the media, and he just sounds sloppy, not even knowing how far the field goal was. And, I know that there's some checkpoints to get there, but I think for me, the biggest fear is the Jets are going to have a top pick, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, and they're going to take a quarterback. And the question that I am already asking myself, that I didn't think I would be asking myself under any circumstance at this stage of his tenure, 6 games in, is Aaron Glenn the coach that you want to hand off and work with a first overall pick as a quarterback? And how do you say yes to that right now? How do you say yes?
I mean, but it's 6 weeks in. So there's a lot there. I mean, look at all the other coaches who we run out of town here, or the quarterbacks who run out of town. Like, I get what you're saying. So what do you want to do? Fire the head coach again and hire somebody new? And do you trust Woody to do that? Like, you don't. You loved Aaron Glenn more than anybody. You ready to give up on him after 5-6 weeks?
I wanted Mike Vrabel first, and I thought that Aaron Glenn would be much better than this. And I understand that if you look at what happened with Detroit, Dan Campbell, they lost however many. I understood, but it's taking like a dangerous turn. That exchange with Costello yesterday was so out of balance. Now, not that you can't have a bad moment, I understand that, but to tell a guy who's been covering the Jets for, 15, 20 years, however long he's been on the Jets beat, that's a bad question? No, Coach, it's the most pertinent question you could be asked. The Jets had 1 yard with 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the second quarter. 1 yard. And you're going to flip the script on a guy doing his job, saying that it's a bad question? What are you kidding me?
Yeah, but I have more of an issue of what he actually did on the field. I couldn't care less about what he says with Brian Costello.
But it ties. I got you. But to me, it ties in. Like, because now if the on the field stuff was buttoned up,
right,
and he said that, I'm like, okay, what happens on the field does matter.
But I think that plays to the point of he's in a situation where he didn't realize that there was this much of an overhaul. Meaning that, like, it's so fragile with the Jets that the media, the fans, from week 1 were ready to pounce on Aaron Glenn when he didn't get the job done. Ready to pounce. Week 2, same thing. Oh, nope. Awful. Can't have it. Awful. Get him out of town. Is he overmatched? And then that starts to snowball and build up to a point where nobody is going to have success. I remember almost everybody in this town ripping and questioning Todd Bowles, saying that Todd Bowles was in fact clueless. Now, not me. I happen to like Todd Bowles, but obviously what he did here was not great. Everybody was calling him clueless. Can't coach. What a horrible hire. How's Todd Bowles doing right now? He's one of the best. He's got one of the best teams in the league. And it's not just this year. It's not a fluke. So maybe we're doing the same thing again with Aaron Glenn. Now, I would say that yesterday, I don't know what the hell that was going into halftime where you have a fake punt. You convert the fake punt, and yet you play not to score. Like, that just
not playing to win.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
How is that possible for a guy who was a good player and knows the game? Yeah. He's not trying to win.
Well, I don't know what is going on there. That is just inexplicable. He could say it. The offensive coordinator could say, like, I know why he's thinking that, meaning that, well, we can't move the football, and Denver's defense is good, and I don't want to give up a score. Let's just feel good here at half. But once you convert that punt, the fake punt, you've got to at least try to get in field goal range.
I agree.
Letting it run out makes no sense whatsoever. And then at the end of the game, to think for an offense that was negative 10 yards through the air on the day, to think that you were going to convert a 4th and 8 or whatever it was.
4th and 8.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if the field goal was, in fact, 67, 68 yards. Your best shot, like, what do you think? They were down by 4? It didn't make any sense. So those things, to me, I need a legitimate explanation from him as to what the hell he was possibly thinking. But you want to take it a step further or go 9 miles further and say, well, is he the right guy moving forward? Look. It's 6 games. I mean, yeah, they hired him for a reason. I've got to give a head coach more than 6 games to decide whether he's going to be good or not.
Listen, I do hear you. I get it. And listen, I mean, think about what's going on with the Giants here. Who knows where their season goes? But think about what we've said about Dable and how many people wanted to bounce him continuously. It might wind up being this great relationship with Dart, and the Giants become really good. And Brian Dable's here for a long time. I understand So I really do. I get it. And the last thing I want is to go through another press conference with another GM or another coach and hit reset. And it really is. I keep saying I don't care anymore. Like, that's kind of my that's where I get. I don't care. But I do care when it looks like that, because that's worrisome. When it's one thing to lose and to not have a lot of talent, not have a quarterback you believe in. I'm just throwing things. Not have an O-line, not have a defense. Understood this was going to be a massive cleanup on aisle 8. We all knew that because they've been so bad for so long. But it doesn't seem like he has a clue.
Okay, but that's part of hiring somebody who's doing that job for the first time. Like, that's just part of it. You have to, and Jet fans have to, and the media's going to do what they want, but that to me does not help. Jet fans just have to lay off for a little bit. This is the decision that the owner made to hire him. You've got to stick it out. You can't just make rash decisions after 6 weeks and say, well, he's inept. And I thought the handling of the first half and the final decision there to go for it were absolutely asinine. However, the Jets should not, and I said this from before the season, should not be judged off of wins and losses this year. And there is going to be a learning curve with a new head coach. And Justin Fields stinks. There are many factors here at play. And they got a bunch of losers there on the team that have been part of a losing culture for years. Years. Guys that didn't want to listen to Aaron Rodgers, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, MVP. They didn't want to listen to him. They thought he was the loony. No, they're the losers. They thought he was the one who was crazy. Now look what he's doing. Look what all the other guys who have been here before and failed, whether it's head coach or quarterback, look what they're doing elsewhere. So it can't just be, it's not Aaron Glenn, it's not Todd Bowles, it's not Sam Darnold, it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault, it's the Jets. So give him some room here. Again, it was horrific yesterday. A horribly coached first 6 games of the season, any which way you slice it. He's a first-time head coach that is learning. That's part of why I would have hired somebody with experience in New York, because this market will chew you up and spit you out. They've done it with everybody before.
But think about this, like when you're a young broadcaster and you get on the air, right? There's things you have to learn, like how to hit the break and how to set things up and how to go to the calls, and if something goes wrong, technically how to kind of vamp and not let the audience know that things are going awry behind you, and that just comes with reps. So I agree that there are things that will get better and certainly should get better just with repetition, and I do. But you could be a 22-year-old kid out of college with a journalism degree and they throw a mic in front of your face. The first thing you have to have is an opinion. You got to have an opinion. And I don't know if he has, now, as I loosely translate, an opinion or a clue on how to coach. And the next thing that's going to happen, and I don't know where you stand on this, but Like, I don't blame Garrett Wilson. Now, he's lost a lot of games here. Garrett Wilson's walking off the field. As they are huddling for that player at the line of scrimmage, you can see the life, the soul, the competitiveness being sucked out of his body as he just like meekly walks off the field. Like, what are we doing? And then he goes up to the head coach, and optically is it the best look? Maybe not, but I thought Aaron handled that well. He put his arm around him, he diffused it, and Aaron knows he's competing, and I know that's not a big problem, but it is a problem when somebody who is a dog in Garrett Wilson doesn't believe that you're trying to win. He's not the only one. Now, I know there's not a lot of guys in that locker room that deserve the benefit of the doubt or who have accomplished a damn thing. But if you are especially in football, if you're a football coach and your team doesn't think that you are doing whatever it takes to move the sticks and to try to win the game, don't even show up.
Yeah.
You got no chance.
I wouldn't care what Garrett Wilson has to say, honestly. So I would be more worried about Aaron Glenn and why he handled it that way. And I think the way that he handled it is in part because he is scared because of all the blowback that he's received. Now, that's on him. He should fight through that and say, I don't give a crap what anybody says. This is how I'm coaching and this is what I believe. But if they do go for it there, let's say, and are more aggressive and they turn the ball over and Denver scores, what do you think people are going to be saying? Oh, same old Jets going into the halftime, blowing things. So I guarantee you that that's part of a learning curve for a first-time head coach in this market that is thinking too much and afraid to be more aggressive in that spot. As for Garrett Wilson, did he want Aaron Rodgers here or not?
No, but neither did Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Well, and I don't think Woody Johnson did either. The whole thing with Woody's son. Who knows how that went down.
Enough, but that's a knock on Glenn.
I don't think anybody wanted him in the building, which says all you need to know about the building.
But the point is, Garrett Wilson could have benefited from learning from Aaron Rodgers.
No question.
And he didn't want to do that. So I can't get... and Garrett Wilson has been a losing player since he's been here now. I get that Jet fans haven't seen anything like him since Al Toon, so that's why you overrate him. And he's got elite skill level. Understood. You go put him somewhere else, maybe he'll be a very solid receiver. I don't care about Garrett Wilson and what he has to say because he's been a losing player from day one and it's never changed. And he had the opportunity to change with a winning quarterback, an MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he didn't want to listen to him. So it's always everybody else with Garrett Wilson. It's not him.
Well, but think about this. Like, what's worse, back to the play at the half here, because to me, this signifies everything right now. Granted, it could get better, but right now, what's worse, making a mistake and ultimately losing because you try?
Right.
Or losing because you basically surrender?
Yeah, no,
you
losing
take the white flag. We're good. Now, we're all right. We don't have to compete. I mean, I don't know how you could have a worse look for a guy that I thought was going to be more buttoned up. And by the way, if he didn't come in so aggressively, this is part of the deal with him too. And this is why I was trying to tell him early on, dial it down, buddy. Tap the brakes. When you're telling everybody, we're not the same old Jets, we're not going to be this, we're not going to be that, and then you are so meekly accepting defeat. It's just it puts the wheels in motion for constant criticism and eventually anarchy. And once the anarchy begins to infiltrate the building, who the hell knows what's going to happen? Because the owner is clueless. The defensive coordinator stinks. I don't know about the GM yet, and I'm terrified about the head coach.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. James is calling from Delray Beach. What's up, James?
What's going on, guys? I'm not going to touch on any of the coaching decisions from yesterday because if I do, I may have a stroke on air. But I know we always say, like, we got to give him time. He's a first-time head coach, and then Mougey, he's a first-time GM, give him time. But we said that countless times with other regimes, and you're looking down the barrel of possibly having the number one overall pick. And if you screw that one up, then it'll make the Zach Wilson number 2 overall pick look like nothing. Like, that will literally send this franchise back decades. They may have to leave New York if they screw that one up. So, like, you really have to sit there for once in Woody Johnson's life. He has to sit there and actually make a good, decision, take his time and say, do I really want these 2 guys who are learning on the job and it's only getting worse and worse by each week, and the product that we see on the field is directly from them.
Yeah.
There's turnover from past regimes, and there's guys that you're handcuffed to for this year, maybe next year, but everything we're seeing is a direct result from them, and it's only getting worse.
Well,
do I really want these two guys in charge of the number one overall?
It's a money question. Thank you, James, for the call. It really is. It's maybe going to be the question. Now, I don't know enough about Mougey. He just got here, so I certainly can't say that he won't or can't identify the quarterback. And I'm not prepared to say that, I absolutely will not allow Aaron Glenn to come back for a second year and coach that young quarterback. But the problem is there's no consensus first overall pick. There's no John Elway. There's no Andrew Luck. There's no Peyton Manning. So there's going to be 3 or 4 names, too, which played over the weekend, and Moore and Mendoza. And I watched that game. I'll give you some thoughts a little bit later. Mendoza looked really good. That's the short version. And Moore did not. But I don't know, Sal. I mean, he's not an offensive mind, so that's strike one. He seems completely overwhelmed. That's strike 2. It's a dysfunctional, worst franchise in all those sports. That's strike 3. There are really, truly times where it just seems like there's no hope.
Okay, but then what makes you think that it's going to get better if they fire Aaron Glenn and Mougey next year and do what? Who are they going to hire? That's going to draft.
I don't know, but if you bring in, so what about Gruden? And I almost hate to do this so early because you're right, it is 6 weeks in. But at least if you hire somebody who knows how to do it, don't you think the odds go up that you have a better chance to succeed?
It's why I would have hired Pete Carroll last year. So you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have hired an experienced head coach because I said all these things. But they didn't. And everybody loved it. Loved Darren Glenn. So now you got to live with it. They made their decision. You're going to fire him to go get Gruden, who you could have had a year ago? That to me is asinine. That's really showing that you don't know what you're doing. Vrabel's a different story. Maybe they went after him. They weren't going to get him because they weren't in a spot as a franchise that was appealing enough to get Mike Vrabel. He wanted no part of the Jets, much like most people probably wouldn't want a part of the Jets. What do you think is going to happen with the next guy? I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to go fire. Now, I don't know if they're going to fire him or not, but let's just say in the hypothetical that they do, they'll fire Glenn. They'll go hire somebody else that's going to come in here, talk a tough game. We're going to rebuild this thing. They'll draft the first-round quarterback, and it's again going to be asked to be the savior. And after 1 week of failure, everybody's going to be calling saying, this quarterback sucks. This head coach is overmatched. They don't got it because they don't have enough time to build it the right way. That's just how it is. To me, it's Delusionville to think that you were coming in here having this season based on wins and losses. How could this team be any good? I didn't see it. And now they're 0-6. Did I think it was going to be this bad? Maybe not. And doing some of the foolish things that you saw yesterday from Aaron Glenn. So obviously there are some question marks. It's also year 1, 6 weeks in. Like, it could change. You don't know. It could change in the next 6 weeks or so.
The correlation is ownership, and it's a broken record, and it's so much deeper than Aaron. But, the truth of the matter is, and I know that this is a different conversation, but you just can't play Justin Fields a whole lot more. You just can't. I mean, Sal,
Tyrod Taylor's the answer?
No,
come on now.
Maybe Brady Cook. I don't know if there is an answer. There probably is not an answer, but I would think, and I would have liked to at least have the ability to see this happen yesterday. Like, if you pull Justin, even if you don't bench him, like, you could have just given Tyrod Taylor a couple of series. Excuse me. Maybe you squeak out a win. For some reason, the Jets are actually favored this weekend. There's some winnable games coming up. Not that the season's going anywhere, but you owe it to the team to put your best foot forward. And I knew that Justin Fields was poor reading defenses. I didn't think he was this bad. He doesn't see a damn thing in front of him. He's terrified to let the ball go. There's not an ounce of anticipation. Like, at this level, the play. Take a simple 10-yard out. There was one of these with Garrett Wilson yesterday where you run 10 yards, you put your left foot in the ground, boom, you turn to the sideline. As soon as that left foot hits the ground, the ball's got to be out because Fields knows the play, and obviously the receiver does. He basically waits till he gets to the sideline, and guess what happens? When you do that, the corner knocks it away, and it doesn't help when it's a foot and a half behind him. So I don't think that there's anything that Justin will do from a passing perspective that's going to change this. So he's just not good enough. So when you have a chance to steal a game, I don't know. I mean, not that Tyrod's the answer. I know he's not long-term, but I wouldn't mind seeing him yesterday. I really wouldn't have.
Sports Talk on WFAN is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Roger's in the Bronx. What's up, Roger?
Hey, what's going on, fellas, man? Just wanted to say I can't do it no more, man. I can't watch it no more. I've been a Jet fan for 40 years. It's just coach after coach after coach. It's just Aaron Glenn is not the coach. I don't care if you bring him in next year. I don't care if you keep him around he's definitely not the coach. After what he did yesterday on the sideline at halftime, that just shows me this guy is scared to coach. He's scared to lose. He's scared. He don't know at all what he's doing. He's clueless on the sideline. And if I was Woody, I'll get rid of him today. Today, I'll be making the call. I don't care what coach we bring in. Start again.
Yeah, but Raj, hold on, Raj. Yeah, I appreciate the energy. I definitely do. You fire him today. You can't say you don't care who you bring in because then it could actually, well, it can't be worse than 0-6. But, I mean, there's got to be a limit on just how little you give somebody to prove that they have a chance to be the guy. I'm not saying fire him today. I'm just saying I'm very worried that he's not the guy. But you got to give him a little more time, Raj.
I know somebody, I'll tell you like this. Whatever coach come in, I know they could do a better job than Aaron Glenn. I know we could have won at least one game this year of coaching. Whatever coach you, at least we would have won one game. Aaron Glenn is a joke, and I think he's only thinking just because he was a player with the Jets, he think his job is all good and everything. It don't work like that with New York Jets fans. For us, especially people who were waiting almost 40, 50 years for playoffs, not even Super Bowl, for just a playoff.
Yeah.
So if he thinks he's just going to sit on the sideline and think, oh, we're going to wait around another 2-3 years, yeah, he's going to be gone by the end of the season. I guarantee.
Yeah, and how's that going to work out for you, Roger? And thank you for the call.
And he's not thinking that, Raj. I think that's not that you try to disrespect him directly, but I think to think that Aaron doesn't know the deal and the repercussions. And New York, he played here. He's been a coach. He's grinded his way up. I mean, nobody's here to disrespect the man, but I don't know how you could be around the game for so long and actually oversee that before the end of the first half and think that that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything so bad in my life.
That was ugly, but it is part of a learning curve with a first-time head coach. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. How many different guys do we need to see it? How many guys do we need to see it with? Robert Saleh, Adam Gay, like how many guys? Todd Bowles. How many times do we need to see it? It's the same thing.
It is.
It's the same thing. BT and Sal on the Fan. Our transportation, water, and energy infrastructure is critical. But did you know that those projects are built by the local 825 operating engineers and their contractors? They even built MetLife Stadium and the stadium before that. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
Talk Yankees trades, Mets stats, Giants defense, and Jets prospects. All in one place. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Putting in a fence, repairing your sidewalk, whatever the project, know what's underground before you dig. Call 811. Con Ed will send someone to mark the location of gas, electric, and steam lines for you. It's free, it's safe, and it's the law.
Together, let's drive at Paramus Chevrolet. For just $227 a month and $2,004 due at delivery, lease a brand new Equinox 4D Wagon LT with two-wheel drive for 36 months. Buying? Enjoy 0.0% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. Visit ParamusChevrolet.com today.
Football season is here, and just like winning teams, your engagement should be all about the best. So if you're ready to pop the big question this season, why not visit the experts at London Jewelers? With top-notch professionals and cutting-edge technology, London Jewelers can help you select or even design the absolute perfect ring. So whether you're starting over or starting new, let the professionals at London Jewelers be a part of your journey. Visit any one of their convenient 6 locations across New York and New Jersey. London Jewelers, serving you and your family since 1926.
Rock and roll will never die, and neither will the low prices. It's the Rocktober Savings Event at Nielsen Dodge. We've turned up the volume on Rocktober Savings on any new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, or Ram.
Lease a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4, just $199 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Altitude X 4x4, just $224 a month.
We're rocking out the deals with 0 down payment available. $1,500 overbook value for any trade. If you need credit help, we're here to make it happen. And of course, great deals.
On Route 10 in East Hanover, online at NielsenDodge.com, a proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
So for head-banging deals that are music to your ears, at Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Drive into fall event.
With approval term 24 months, due signed, Cherokee 5794, Cherokee L 5819, ag tax tag 498, doc and DMV.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
Football season is Modelo season. If you're listening to this, it means you live and breathe Giants football. And you know what that makes you? A full-time fan, which means you deserve a Modelo. Reward your fandom with an ice-cold Modelo, an official cerveza of the New York Giants. Please drink responsibly.
At the United Healthcare Medicare store, right here in Jackson Heights, you can chat face-to-face with a licensed sales agent who understands the community and get clear answers to your questions. We're located at 3752 82nd Street between Roosevelt and 37th Ave. We're ready to help.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Tune in to the BT and Sal Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on The Fan, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
Have something to say? Dial us 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
BT and Sal back on the Fan on this Monday morning. We'll continue with your calls here on the Jets, 888-808-1019. We get to the Pete Alonso ridiculous contract demands a little bit later as well. But we obviously talk Jets here. You mentioned a little bit before, BT, with the Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor thing. I actually couldn't believe that some people were making a big deal about that yesterday on social media. I saw a little bit of it. That's what we've gotten to now, where it's, you've got to get to Tyrod Taylor! You've got to play Taylor! Okay, a career backup. For what purpose exactly? I mean, that made not once watching that game did I think about Tyrod Taylor, period. Now, here's Aaron Glenn explaining why, in fact, he did not go to Tyrod Taylor. Just talking about Justin Fields' game after watching the tape, I guess, this morning.
You know what? Here's what, I thought about this a lot last night. I thought about the question that was asked. And when you look at what Justin did, the games that he played, listen, I didn't think he was bad at all. I actually thought he did some pretty good things in those 4 games. In this 5th game, he took a step back, and I'm with you guys 100%. And we can't have that. We have to get better than that. And he knows that. And he knows that better than anyone. So I don't think you just try to bench a player after having one true bad game, because I thought the other games he played fairly well.
Yeah, now look, you're also going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, nobody's going to hide it. We all saw it. Justin Fields stunk yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think Tyrod Taylor would have done any better?
Well, you don't know. I mean, but Tyrod Taylor's better throwing the football, and he always has been. Justin Fields is an athlete. There was nowhere to go. He was not running the ball. Nobody holds the ball more. Very inaccurate. It's just a little, and I appreciate Aaron's candor there. He's like, I do. I think that's part of the growth and part of the maturation. I think that he understands that he messed up. Or I want a little more consistency. Like, if you cut guys for muffing a kickoff, it's okay to bench a guy if he's not having a great day. And it doesn't mean that you keep him tied to the bench for the rest of the year. Hey, listen, otherwise, why do you have a backup quarterback? I mean, the backup quarterback is not just there in case the guy gets hurt. Historically, there's been situations in the NFL where the backup quarterback is also a spark.
Right.
Where things aren't moving and the chains aren't moving and the offense is stagnant. It doesn't mean you make the move to Tyrod Taylor for the rest of the year. Nobody wants to see that. But to try to salvage a game for the rest of the guys on the field, I wasn't really thinking about it in real time, to be fair.
Right.
But if he would have done it, I would have been like, all right, it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he would have done it, I would have been shocked. But what's more valuable? Seeing what you have in Justin Fields, the young quarterback that they chose. And again, I didn't like Justin Fields, but considering what they needed here, year one of a rebuild, versus going to Tyrod Taylor there for what? Like, for what? To get a meaningless win? If that, like, people are making it like it's guaranteed. I watched Tyrod Taylor play. We both said it the next day afterward. You could see that they clearly missed Justin Fields and his potential to be explosive, if not with just his legs alone. So I think that was more about the Denver defense than it was about Justin Fields. He was scared. He didn't want to let go of the football. Fair enough. Tyrod Taylor's not much better. Now, you could say he's a veteran. He's seen a little bit more. Tyrod Taylor's not great throwing the football down the field. So that wouldn't have been to me, that wouldn't have been a good option either.
And by the way, they have nobody who's open. I mean, we're kind of buried outside of Garrett Wilson. I mean, I don't even know half of these receivers' names. It's really gross. But I think that, yesterday, so like a meaningless win, and what would it really mean? Well, I mean, in terms of the season, not much, but in terms of the change of the culture. See, this is where it gets a little nuanced for a head coach who is trying to flip a script that has been hellish for basically a decade and a half here. If you win yesterday, if you go to Tyrod, and if you do win, now the tone in practice is a little different, and maybe it bleeds into the Carolina game, and maybe one win becomes two. And not that it's ever going to become 9 or 10. Not with this group. There's too many deficiencies. But, like, you've got to at least get a foundation. And when you keep losing, and you have to – but there was some – Connor Hughes had some stuff last night where he was talking about where even going back to training camp, there were guys off the record who thought that Tyrod Taylor was a better fit than Justin Fields. Okay. So if they were thinking that back then when they were 0-0 as a record, you have to wonder, like, does the locker room now become fractured, which – again, most of these guys won't be here when it turns around, if it ever turns around with Aaron Glenn. But you've got to try to find a win where you can. And sometimes a win is not even a literal win. It's just energizing a locker room with something different. Like, that stuff matters.
Tyrod Taylor, we saw him play against the Bucs, right?
Yeah.
And how'd that game go?
Listen, yesterday was, and not just because awful. It didn't go well.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, I know. Yeah. Awful. They're not.
And they got
pretty.
back in the game not because of anything Tyrod Taylor did, because of a block kick
and all the penalties. I mean, Tampa just basically had 9 penalties in the first half.
It was
that game.
It
was gross.
Yeah.
But yesterday, when you look at the sacks and the negative 10 net yards, which is the worst in Jets history, which is saying something, and the worst in at least 27 years in the NFL, like, I get it. Nobody's saying Tyrod Taylor is coming off the bench. You're going to be Dan Marino, but you couldn't be worse than Justin Fields. And when there's such a substandard level of play, I think you owe it to the team to at least investigate that. And for him to not even, I think, consider it is a little alarming.
Okay, one more from Aaron Glenn today talking about the issues going into, or the way that the Jets handled the offense there going into halftime and the end of the first half.
You know what? As I thought about that, and I think the question was asked about the confusion part, when you look at it, man, it was the ref said first down. And that's when we got to respect the ball. And someone else said, no, it's not. It's 4th down. And at that point, man, if we tried to run and play, I thought that's where real confusion going to come from. So at that point, our staff had just talked about this the day before. But, man, let's try to see if we can get 3, defer at the beginning of the game, try to get 3 points out of the halftime, then come back the second half and try to get points again. But you know what, to be honest with you, I wish I could have took the clock down to 5 seconds and just threw a Hail Mary, to be honest with you. But at that point, I want no confusion. Let's just get out the half, guys. We're getting the ball back the second half, and let's get ready to go.
You know what that sounds like to me? A head coach who's learning on the job. That's part of the deal when you hire a first-time head coach. It was ugly. It was inexcusable, unacceptable. It can't happen. That's a first-time head coach learning there in that situation.
Yeah, understood. And that's why, like, I'm not saying I'd fire him today, but the fear, that's why, as I push this a little forward, the fear is ultimately, will there be enough, or the question is, will there be enough growth the rest of this year to give him a number 1 pick that's a quarterback?
Okay.
And I don't really have the answer for you right now.
No, we got to wait and see how it goes. Now, I'm not so sure. And by the way, even if the Jets won that game yesterday, we'd still be having a similar, like, to me, it wouldn't be like, oh, the Jets won. Aaron Glenn's the man.
No, it definitely wouldn't be that.
Let's just say that they decided to kick the field goal at the end, a 3-yard or whatever it would have been.
62.
Okay, and he would have hit it. Like, does that change what happened at the end of the first half? No. Does that change what we've seen the first 5 weeks? No, at least you can say, well, they got to win. Okay, great. 1-5. What's the difference? 1-5, 0-6. You need to see consistent play. At least the penalties were cleaned up yesterday a little bit. Like, there are some signs to see, well, maybe there was some progression. Denver is a very good football team. And defensively, the Jets played pretty well yesterday.
They did. And listen, the Jets defensively with Jermaine Johnson are a different team.
100%.
He's a different player. I knew he was good. I didn't really realize he had that much impact on the defense. So there's no doubt they definitely did some things well. The penalties, they only had a couple. The defense was much better. Denver's a good football. I agree with all that stuff. But it's not a meaningless win when you then have a chance to, like, stack one against Carolina. Right. That's where, you start to maybe win the room over and the emotion flips and you get a little momentum. You start playing downhill. Now you're still looking for the first one instead of trying to get back to back.
I get it. He needs a win desperately because that will calm the O for Jets, the LOL Jets, at least calm them for a day. Okay, well, they can win a football game. Let's not remember, though, what happened week 1. I mean, week 1, everybody was ready to hear. It's
the best they looked.
Oh, okay.
It's the best they looked.
I understand it. It was against a very good Steelers team. Even week 1, maybe, teams are still learning. It's an extension of the preseason. But what they did offensively, to me, was what they need to get back to, running the football. They didn't do that. Yesterday, they played a great defense. That was a tough matchup. Let's see what they do moving forward. If they can clean up the penalties like they did yesterday. If the defense plays like they did yesterday, more often than not moving forward, they will win some football games. I do think Justin Fields will get better, again, to his... He's not a great quarterback, but he'll be able to run against some other teams. Denver defense is pretty freaking good. And Aaron Glenn's going to learn from his mistakes here. What does it all mean? Who the hell knows? Does it mean that I would trust him wholeheartedly with the number 1 pick? No, I don't know who the Jets could possibly hire that I would trust right now with the number 1 pick. Even Gruden we could poke holes in. Even we talked about Pete Carroll, the guy I would have hired. Look at what he's done with the Raiders. That has not been pretty there, picking his guy with Geno Smith, bringing him in there. So it doesn't mean that just because Aaron Glenn may look awful right now, it doesn't mean that there's a better option immediately to go select the number 1 quarterback.
Yeah, and listen, they're not locked into Justin Fields long term. I thought it was a smart move on a mid-20s quarterback that's an amazing athlete that played with Garrett Wilson in college and, had shown some incremental progress. I talked about this. Each year, 2-3 points up on the percentage, then not a lot of picks, a couple of touchdowns, he could run, but they are not married to him financially, which obviously is a good thing. $20 million this year, $20 next year, 10 of which is guaranteed. So if they want to just hit the parachute cord and get rid of him, which I think that they will, there's obviously a nice means to do that. 888-808-1019, BT and Sal on the Fan here. We'll get to the Pete Alonso stuff with the contract. Jet fans, I don't know what to tell you, man. It just gets it really. I feel bad for us. I pity us. I really do. We got nothing. Total Orthopedics, Long Island's premier immediate orthopedic practice, whether it's a sports-related injury or something a little more complex. Total Ortho has locations throughout Long Island with our diagnostic equipment right on site. Now Total Ortho Express offers 4 convenient walk-in service with no appointment necessary from the field or sports court. Straight to a top-rated walk-in orthopedic doctor. Visit TotalOrthoExpress.com. That's TotalOrthoExpress.com because time doesn't heal wounds, they do.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. In tonight's later start, young quarterbacks, Chicago's Caleb Williams and Washington's Jaden Daniels, duel in our nation's capital. Williams' favorite target, Roma Dunze, has scored in every game. Daniels returned to the Commanders last week and should put on a show with a red-hot Deebo Samuel at his side. I'll take Washington in another high-scoring game, 30-27. I'm Boomer Esiason.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-922-1284. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
Hey everyone, this is Boomer Esiason, and I'm here to tell you all about United Healthcare and their Oxford products. They've served me well for 41 years, and I've been very happy with the coverage that I've received. In fact, they're not only my insurance carrier, United Healthcare also supports my foundation in our quest to find a cure for cystic fibrosis. So when you play pro football, you learn pretty fast that you can't win without teammates you can rely on. The same is true for your health plan. And that's why Oxford plans from United Healthcare include all kinds of benefits for your employees, like $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays, and the ability to earn up to $700 a year just for taking healthy actions. Care for your employees and savings for you? You'll get that too. Check out Oxford now with more ways to help your employees and bottom line stay healthier. Contact your broker or visit uhc.com/Oxford to learn more. Oxford insurance products are underwritten by Oxford Health Insurance Incorporated.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions, participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Hey everyone, Boomer here. How long have I been talking about the Chef IQ Sense wireless thermometer? You know how much I love it, but check out what one of our listeners says. It's phenomenal. You want to make a brisket, you look at your phone, and your mouth starts watering when you've got 20 minutes left. Phenomenal. The Chef IQ Sense is the wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat. Whether cooking on a stovetop, oven, or grill, the app alerts you when everything's done. Order the newly released 3rd generation Chef IQ Sense now at chefiq.com.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Game day starts with the right truck, and Arnold Chevrolet has yours. Over 50 Silverado models in stock, from the family-friendly 1500 to the heavy-duty 3500 built to tow, haul, and handle any job. And right now, save up to $7,500 off MSRP. That's right, $7,500 off on select Silverado models. Our loyal sales and management team has been helping Long Island drivers for decades. And this season, we're serving up tailgate deals on our full lineup of trucks and SUVs. Visit Arnold Chevrolet in West Babylon or online at arnoldsautos.com. Because nobody discounts like Arnold. Include Chevrolet, select market purchase, loyalty to qualify.
Looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price? Get to Town Fair Tire for Michelin's Cross Climate tires, offering a design that delivers an exceptional level of long-lasting performance throughout the tire's lifespan. Plus, Town Fair gives you more free services than anywhere else. For the guaranteed lowest price and your best deal on Michelin Cross Climate tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person receiving the deal. Additional terms apply.
Morning,
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate Pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1/8/2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Your friends pretend they know sports. WFAN actually does. Get smarter, louder, and way more annoying at watch parties. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
BT and Sal back on the Fan. Another rough day for the Jets. That was a rough one, waking up that early. I actually don't like the early games. Now that I think about it, we talked about it going into the week. It's like, oh, good, get it, out of the way early morning, whatever. But that's just too early. Yeah, I got my daughter hopping in bed in the morning and wanting to, play a game because Daddy's home from work, obviously, and watch a movie or watch a show. Before you know it, it's 9:30 and the game's about to kick off. And then I go watch and I'm like, good God, this is not football. You watched football yesterday. Not at 9:30 in the morning. That wasn't real football between the Jets and the Broncos.
The Jets don't play real football.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying for years, there's two NFLs. There's the one the Jets do, and then there's the rest of the league here. And listen, if you want to keep going and do the London series here, then do what they do with soccer. Just offer some relegation. Really, like what they do for soccer teams. I think I said this to you last week. What they do for soccer teams, if you're really, really bad and you don't achieve whatever the threshold of achievement is, I'm not even sure because I don't really watch soccer, but you then get relegated to a weaker division. So what they should do in the NFL is, if you're as bad as the Jets, you should be relegated to no TV. You can listen to Bob Wischusen. You can listen to the apps if you want. But when you're that bad, no TV.
I'd rather listen to Bob Wischusen than that broadcast yesterday. That was I just can't. I'm not trying to pick on anybody.
Yeah, no, he's not a good play-by-play guy.
Come on.
And I like Rich. He's not a good play-by-play guy.
Come on, dude. Come on. It's just they got to stop with this.
Kurt's good, but Rich is just not a play-by-play guy.
And even Kurt yesterday was like dumbfounded by what was going on. Somebody needed to tell him, like, Kurt, you do realize this is the Jets.
Yeah, and you still have to speak.
He's like,
It's still your job to tell us what you're seeing, even though it's very, very tough to distinguish.
Did you do the pod live yesterday?
I did. I went right after, of course,
Clocked
man.
at zeros. There you go. Brunch with BT.
Almost 50,000 views already.
There you go.
Miserable Jet fans jumping in. Of course I did it, yeah.
BT and Sal, the Fan, WFAN, NFL football is powered by Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store today. Charlie is in Bethpage. What's up, Charlie?
BT and Sal, you can't start a Sunday like that. Brutal. Just really tough to watch. With family, friends, got my 2-year-old grandson on my lap, Rory, Bloody Marys, eggs, bacon. We got the whole thing going. And to watch that before the first half. Now, I did like what you guys did, that clip before. Yeah, he's going to learn. But you got to know that before. That's basic football 101 and having a football IQ. And
just let me interrupt you there for a second. You're right, Charlie. You should know that beforehand. Look around the league at a lot of these inexperienced first-time or second-time head coaches. They bungle routine things all the time.
Without a doubt, Sally. You know what? And it's amazing at the salaries they make that they don't know. And then you throw the Hail Mary. Or you get a pass interference. You cannot end the half on a defensive penalty. So then you get another shot at the end zone or the field goal. So you had nothing to lose. You're not giving the ball back to Denver. So he was making excuses yesterday, and I hate excuses. Glenn ain't going nowhere. We're not going in that circle anymore. What we did last year, we fired the coach on the way back last year. Our season ended up even worse. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. Got to give the guys some time. Am I happy with what's going on? No. But I'm tired of the revolving door coaches out there in the Meadowlands. Yep. I'm tired of it. And I'm also pleased. Everybody, call the station. do not talk about Woody. Woody's not going anywhere, okay? I hate when people, we got to get Woody. Woody owns the team. He's making our money. But we got to go in the right direction. We got to give these two guys the right time, and we got to do it. It's got to be growing pains, and it's already growing pains, and it's hurtful.
Charlie, how's the referee going? You know, Charlie's a referee out there on Long Island. How's the refereeing going? Yeah.
It's going good. A lot of blowouts in my game so far.
No issues with parents?
Yeah, parents are very tough, but you know what? I'm doing it for 30 years. They all know me. You know what? They all know me. So, you know what? Everybody knows the game better than the referees, and everyone knows the game better than coaches. You know, that's part of
you nailed it. There you go.
Charlie.
Nice, Charlie. I'll tell you, the only people that should be more pissed than Jet fans yesterday, really, the Jets' offensive line. Because for people who didn't watch the game, they're like, "Oh my God, the Jets gave up 9 sacks." Yeah, too bad. Every one of them was on the quarterback. And just a little context here. So, I would not have guessed it would have been Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams has the longest average from snap to throw of 3.05. So they are creating a nice pocket and giving him time to throw the football. And the median, so the average, is 2.65. Yesterday, Justin Fields had almost 4 seconds to throw, which is basically a second more than Caleb Williams, who has the most time to throw in the NFL. This was not a situation where, you know, hike, and you got 3 guys in your face. This is a situation of a young player who either didn't see what's in front of him or once he did was terrified to let it loose.
Yeah, and that's a problem. But that's
him, right?
He's not very good. I mean, there are going to be days where, again, I think Denver's the best defense in the NFL. You know how I felt about Denver coming in. I thought they were the best team in the AFC. Obviously, they didn't look great yesterday, certainly offensively. They got weapons all over the place, and their defense is absolutely loaded. So that's a tough task for any quarterback, but especially one who's a little bit skittish, potentially, and is not known for even when he did throw it, it's behind somebody, it's over somebody. Like, he's just not an accurate thrower. He's got to be able to run, and none of that was there for him yesterday.
True. And listen, the one thing, too, we talked about Garrett Wilson at the start of the show, and I love him. I really, truly think he's amazing, and I do think he's one of the best receivers in football. However, one of the things that's always worried me, like when your best player is that small, like he's thin, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether it's this year with Fields or next year with a rookie who's probably going to be a little inaccurate, kind of, you know, finding his way here. You know, it's nice to have that top receiver that is just taller and you can throw up some 50-50 ball. When was the last time you saw Garrett Wilson get a 50-50 win?
He's not a physical guy.
You can't get that.
Between him and Sauce, I mean, they're, you know.
Yeah. Do they feed them at the facility?
It's exactly right.
Do they have a weight room in Florham Park?
Those 2 guys are string beans.
They are.
I don't get it. I want a nice physical beast at receiver.
Give me Megatron, will you?
Yeah, really. Or at least somewhere in between. Eric is in Delaware. What's up, Eric?
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud. Hey, guys. I'm a happy Jet fan today, BT.
There's no such thing.
First overall pick, Glenn Gone. Why?
No, because I'm rooting for 0-17. I went into this season. My motto is expect the worst, never be disappointed. And they are helping me out.
Okay,
correctly.
but why are you happy? But because you might. By the way, they're not going 0-17. There's no chance. So you're happy today because they have a chance for you to be proven right, or because you want somebody fired? I don't understand why you're happy.
Well, first of all, I would love Aaron Glenn fired. It's not going to happen. Obviously, they're not going to go 0-17. But do you really trust these people to pick a quarterback? I don't.
No, I mean,
so they all got to go.
No. I mean, not really. No, I said that.
Well,
I'm with you.
Do you trust them to pick the right coach?
No, I don't trust this organization at all. I mean, epitome of this regimen right now, he called a timeout to run a fake punt to run the clock out.
Yeah, I know that makes it made
yeah, I mean,
that made no sense. Never let on the plane then.
Almighty.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. And thank you for the call, Eric.
Thanks, buddy.
The ultimate aggressive move, calling a fake punt in that spot, and then the exact opposite followed that with not even doing anything. Throw it out, for goodness sakes. I'm not saying you got to throw a Hail Mary, go for the end zone. Throw it out. Try to get in field goal range. Take a chance.
Do anything. You know what's really painful too? Like I'm looking at this now. So it's Carolina next week. Jets are small favorite. If you don't know, Jets are favored by, I think, 1.5. Then it's
it'll be Carolina, dude.
I know. Listen, they might.
Carolina's actually not as bad as it may seem. But
I agree. They're running the ball a little bit.
That's a game they got to win.
True. And then you got at Cincinnati, right, without Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Then you got a bye week, and then you've got the Browns at home with no offense.
Right.
So
heave-ho, 3 in a row.
Yeah, but I'm saying which I don't even get excited about this stretch here because all the potential wins early, maybe they could beat Miami. They could put some points up against Dallas. I didn't think they'd have a good chance to beat Denver going into the game, but as the game unfolded and you look back, you're like, it's a game you probably should have won. I mean, Denver gave you a lot. Denver gave up a 78-yard kickoff return. They had a ton of penalties. They did a lot of things wrong. The Jets still didn't win. So there was a path for the Jets to actually have a season that I think could have instilled some hope in the fan base. Instead, here we are, 0-6, fire this guy, bench that guy. Typical Jets.
But I do think it still could look very different in 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now, I'm not saying I'd bet on that to happen, but it could, and that's why you don't want to overreact to just 5-6 weeks in the NFL.
Yeah.
There is a bet. They realistically, look, even the worst NFL teams figure out a way to win a game. So, maybe we're looking at 0-7. Who the hell knows? Maybe the Jets shoot themselves in the foot yet again. Maybe Glenn bungles it yet again, whatever. But maybe they don't, and maybe they win. And then what? Maybe they do follow it up with another one. You don't know. What if they win 2 of the next 3? Is everybody starting to calm down a little bit and saying, all right, well, 2-7's not 0-17.
Yep.
And then maybe they win a few more games. They could end up with 5-6 wins still.
Yeah, but remember, Sal, for me, and I think for most Jet fans, it's not the fact that they're winless. It's
the other nonsense.
The lack of belief in him knowing what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
BT and Sal on the Fan Warrior calls when we come back. 888-808-1019. We'll get to Pete Alonso as well on his contract demands. If you haven't seen that, 7 years is what Pete apparently is going to be looking for. Okay, we'll talk about that later on in the show.
It's Evan and Tiki. Afternoons on the Fan 101.9 FM.
It's been so many years since the Giants fans, this is just a fan thing. This isn't a team, with construction or anything like that, and performance. The fans can come to Giants Stadium and leave us that.
Listen to Evan and Tiki on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx, made some mistakes, but eventually becomes one of those hard-working citizens who keep our city going. But he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and his only hope is a lung transplant. When one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, get him a new lung, and they give him a new life. Right. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
they give that guy a new lung or a new motor.
The story, Mr. Giamatti. Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera, you lived it.
Everyone loves a comeback. Montefiore Einstein, national leader in transplant.
Sitting in the driver's seat of the Nissan Kicks is like the best seat in the house. You're in the action. And with the Nissan Kicks all-wheel drive, you can go find the best views. And with the 10-speaker Bose Personal Plus audio system, you can hear everything. Your new wheels await. Reimagine your ride with the reimagined Nissan Kicks. Now get the 2025 Nissan Kicks starting at just $21,830. Shop your local Nissan store or nissanusa.com. Starting MSRP at $21,830 for base model. All prices are manufacturer suggested retail price. MSRP. MSRP excludes up to $1,495 destination and handling charges, tax, title, and license. Dealer sets actual price.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for the lowest price on name brand tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get the guaranteed lowest price on any name brand tire. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Murray to the net. Score!
The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat.
Barzell for Horvat. Score!
Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Tune in to the BT and Sal Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on The Fan. Presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
Talk sports with Evan and Tiki. Afternoons from 2 to 7. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
And this report brought to you by the United Healthcare Medicare store in Jackson Heights. We heard from Jets head coach Aaron Glenn this morning with the media on a Zoom as he was rethinking the halftime situation on Sunday against the Broncos in London.
I wish I could have took the clock down to 5 seconds and just do a Hail Mary, to be honest with you. But at that point, I want no confusion. Let's just get out the half, guys. We're getting the ball back the second half, and let's get ready to go.
Glenn, on second look after watching the film, says it's really the first time Fields played, meaning Justin Fields, played poorly.
When you look at what Justin did, the games that he played, listen, I didn't think he was bad at all. I actually thought he did some pretty good things in those 4 games. In this 5th game, he took a step back, and I'm with you guys 100%, and we can't have that.
And instead, they need better.
We have to get better than that, and he knows that, and he knows that better than anyone, so I don't think you just try to bench a player after having one true bad game, because I thought the other games he played fairly well.
Glenn, courtesy of SNY. Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs beat the Lions 30-17. 2 games tonight. Bills and Falcons at 7:15. Bears and Commanders at 8:15. The Mariners are up 1 game tonight on the Blue Jays. They take game 1 of the ALCS 3-1. Game 2 tonight at 5. Game 1 of the NLCS will be just after 8 p.m. between the Brewers and the Dodgers. The Capitals blank the Rangers 1-0. Today you've got the Islanders and the Jets, and the Devils are in Columbus tonight. This report brought to you by Approved Oil. Visit freeztherate.com. Approved Oil has been the leading heating oil dealer in New York for over 90 years. With today's low rates, now is the time to lock in for this upcoming winter before the cold weather drives prices up. Lock in a low rate and enjoy a worry-free winter with Approved Oil. Visit freeztherate.com. It's 58 in Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN, now streaming our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
BT and Sal back on The Fan. The BT and Sal Show on The Fan is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants. And Giants will be taking on the Denver Broncos. Obviously, Jets just played the Broncos in London. Giants will get set to take on the Broncos in Denver. So maybe it could be a little bit winning football here if the Giants can continue their winning ways. As for the Jets, BT, you just have to ask yourself, and I know we do this in jest a lot of the times, but I have a group text with a bunch of Jet fans on there for years. You and I have talked about this for years, and we hear from the Jet fans all the time. I just don't. I don't know how Jet fans can continue to take this and invest the proper emotion and energy. I get it. You want to be a sports fan, you love it, you put the game on, but maybe a break, a little healthy breather from your team if you're a Jet fan is necessary. You could watch football, you could have the games on, maybe get the YouTube DirecTV, the YouTube package, so Sunday Ticket, watch some of the other games as well, because this just can't be healthy continuing to watch this football team.
I mean, they could stay as London. I really wish they would have stayed there. Like, I've once said that to me, and it encompasses emotion and money and time and all those other things that the New York Jet fan commits to the Jets. And then when you contrast that to what the New York Jets give back to those fans, it really does represent the greatest disparity in all of sport. They give us nothing. And what's happened, just to keep it real, is that I no longer care the way that I once did. I'll watch the games. There's a piece of me that's like, all right, listen, maybe we can get something going here today. And anytime there's a new coach and a new GM, there's that little flicker of hope and possibility. Same with a young quarterback, Darnold, Zach, whatever. I'm sure we'll go through the same thing this year, coming up in April, May, whenever the draft is. And I will find a way to, get myself up a little bit. But they really they have beaten us down in a way that's just really not even fair anymore.
Well, I thought that was part of the genius of the name of your podcast.
Well, that's why I'm still doing it.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. You came up with that moniker, Unkillable.
Yeah.
It was because of the rant that you unleashed here right next to me when Aaron Rodgers went down for the season, that first game of the year, a couple years back. Unkillable. And here we are 2 years later, 0-6, new head coach. Would you say that you are still unkillable as a Jet fan?
Yeah, I would say that for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't show up and do the podcast. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I like that.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to regenerate.
It is what, but there's also, you could be unkillable, you could be resilient, but you can't be stupid. I mean, you've got to at least understand, where we're at here, what the count is, what the scoreboard says. I mean, it is 0-2, and we're facing a nasty slider. It is 40-3, and we're losing in the fourth quarter with 13 seconds to go. I mean, it is 137-89. We're on the wrong end of that score with 12 ticks left in the fourth quarter. It's misery. It's absolute misery. But yes, as the name of the pod says, Unkillable. That is the spirit, not the actual product. The spirit of the Jet fan. While it flickers out, it always finds a way to get back and hopefully just get strong again at some point.
And you're going to regenerate because you got the Panthers coming to town. Could be a win, first win. Get you excited.
It's crazy. You mentioned that rant, and I will say this, while it's still unkillable, I just don't have that in me anymore. I mean, I don't. Not now.
It's in there.
No. When the Jets played the Steelers. Yeah, no, it's in there, but it's buried deep.
Right.
Like when they played the Steelers, I was ready to go nuts, and I was going nuts for most of the game, and even into the Bills game, and even into the Dallas game. But there's just limits on what you think. Listen, you can be with your team, but to think that it's going to change when they're like now, when there's too much evidence to the contrary, or at least change in a way that's incredibly meaningful, on a week-to-week basis, we're in for a long haul. This is going to take a long time to build this house.
Let me just give you a little bit of good news before we get back to the calls. So not only are you taking on the Panthers next week at home, the Panthers are not some kind of NFL powerhouse that's going to be traveling.
They stink.
Yeah, okay.
There'll be some Jets fans in the building for once.
That's what I'm saying. So now you got the Jet fans sniffing maybe, hey, you know what? We got to support our team. Go get Aaron Glenn his first win. It's the lowly Panthers. This could be the week to kind of ignite that fire that's deep in there back up a little bit, because it's not going to be overwhelmed by the Cowboys fans or the Patriots fans or whatever fans travel to Steelers fans. You've got, the Panthers. This thing ain't mean
they have no national profile.
Yeah, so, coming back home off of at least a competitive game against a good Denver team.
But think about the way the season started. It really tells you all you need to know about where the Jet fan was, even going into the year, and even with many of us excited about, Aaron Glenn getting the job, and the possibilities, and the hope that certainly at this point he's going to be a lot better and grow on the job and eventually become the guy. We'll see. There were 43,000 Steeler fans there week one.
Yeah.
It's not week 9. It's not week 6 when you're 0-5. I mean, when it's hopeless here. And I get it. There's only a couple of teams. Dallas is one. Steelers another. Maybe the Niners. Maybe the Pats. Maybe one or two other, whatever, where you've got a chance to really make some money and almost pay for a good portion of those tickets. But I thought that was that sign right there, week 1. The Jet fan had basically already checked out of the season before the season started.
Yeah, I know. Well, they understood what they were getting themselves into. BT and Sal on the Fan. Chris is calling from Clearwater, Florida. What's up, Chris?
Gentlemen, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Hey, bud.
Good morning. If you just give me a second, I waited a long time to talk to y'all. a long-suffering Jets fan. I have to be straight honest with you guys. You guys, we're all around the same age. If one of the three of us were playing Madden and we put on the screen, we perform like the Jets, we would be ridiculed for the rest of our lives. That's number one.
Fair point.
Can't argue that. They're abysmal. They're abysmal. Number two, we were talking about Tyrod Taylor earlier. I was on hold a long time, like I said. Guys, the last time we saw Tyrod Taylor, he beat us in Orchard Park in 2015. Not only is he not a bad quarterback, he's the last time the Jets were relevant. Let's go back this is 10 years ago. Let's go back even further, 15 years ago. Guys, gentlemen, be serious with me. The last time the Jets were exciting and watchable was with Rex Ryan.
No. Hold on, Chris. I got to push back a little bit. The year with Marshall and Decker and Fitzpatrick, 10 wins,
That's
Bowls.
2015, 10 years ago.
Yeah, but you said
ago.
Rex. But you said Rex. It was
let's be serious. That was an anomaly, though.
But it was fun. I'm just saying it was fun, Chris. That's all I'm saying. They had two 1,000-yard receivers.
And look what happened. And they lost immediately after they beat the Patriots in Foxborough. Then they went on to lose in Orchard Park. They had to beat Tyrod, and they lost that game.
I know.
Meaningless. That's what I'm saying. It's an aberration. Past that, like I said, gentlemen, the only coach that was worth this job, that would have taken it and succeeded, let's be serious, is Rex Ryan. Nobody wants to come to the Jets any more than they want to go watch the WNBA courtside. Let's be serious.
Well, WNBA courtside, depending on which team we're playing. Thanks for the call, Chris. And I think
Sophie Cunningham playing?
Yeah, I would go. I got to now, not me on my own. I would take my daughter. Yeah, Sophie Cunningham, exactly.
She playing? I'll sit courtside.
Hey, Sammy, let's go to.
She got some good post moves. I want you to learn how to play basketball. Come on, let's go watch Sophie.
Okay, couple of good things there.
Yes.
Number one, I'd be lying to you and the audience, and I don't want to do that, if I said that the thought of Rex didn't cross my mind. Now, I'm not saying that they should fire Aaron Glenn, anything but that right now. However, I do think the one answer, I don't believe Rex is a good head coach. You and I are on the same page on that. We've had this conversation. However, he does eliminate all the other stuff. The fans pushing back, the doubt about whether or not the coach can succeed, experience, all that stuff. Like Rex and the Jets is a good marriage, even in just the idea that it would shut the fans the hell up and the media the hell up, because at least Rex did have success here.
Okay, so Rex has always been a buffoon. He's our buffoon. But the last couple of years, he's become a buffoon on steroids. I will say this. If, this was year 2 for Aaron, or year 3, or Saleh was still, or anybody else was still here, and you knew that they were going to make a coaching change, this might be the first time that I might actually be slightly open to the concept of Rex coming back.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? I've always shot it down. I've heard Benengo talk about it. I've heard Jet fans call up the fan. Oh, bring back Rex. He wants to be a Jet. He gets the Jets. He knows what it's about. His dad was here with Weeb Eubank. And I'm like, Rex? He's a buffoon. And he wasn't good with the Bills, and he hasn't coached in forever. But it doesn't sound as nuts to me as it once did.
Because the floor, you know that there's a floor there. Even if it's just the outside noise alone. So we're kind of in agreement there that, not that I would do it, but at least the first time we're like, you know what? It could be worse, and it has been worse.
I don't shoot it down immediately for the first time in a long time.
And the other thing I thought Chris touched on there is something interesting. He talked about playing Madden, right? And how, if you or I did that on Madden, we'd be fired. I would have it a prerequisite. It sounds insane, but now, Woody Johnson can't be the one playing Madden versus the new head coach hire because he doesn't know what he's talking about. But there should be somebody in the organization that during the interview process, instead of going over the analytics and what you would do this and what you do there and the binders and all that stuff, play me in a game of Madden. And I want to see how he coaches, because that is something so simple yesterday that you can, in fact, learn. I've been playing Madden since, 92, 93? I learned some things through playing Madden football all those years.
Yeah.
And one of those is, you don't fake a punt and go for it just to then run the clock out. That's unacceptable. The usage of your timeouts, when to kick a field goal, when not. Those are things that I would want to see from a new head coach. And maybe playing a game of Madden against him wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Okay, so it would at least be fun.
Yeah,
and here's the thing, but who is he playing against? Because that implies that somebody in the building knows what they're doing.
That's the key.
So who is he playing against? If you're going to play against Steve Wilkes, his score might be 0-0.
I don't. I don't think the Jets have anybody in that building that I would want. But either way, that would not be a bad idea. Clearly, they could do worse. Angelo's calling from Wayne, New Jersey. What's up, Angelo?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys. How are you? I usually agree with you on 99%, but I think it's just you guys and Aaron Glenn on the planet Earth that didn't think Justin should have been pulled at halftime. I mean, come on. They should have kicked that field goal before half. The reason they didn't, because they don't think this kid could move the ball 20 yards. And if you don't think that Tyrod at the end of the game with a first down on the 50 could have got them 20 yards to get a field goal, that's crazy.
Well, why is it crazy? What is Tyrod Taylor doing? He had a chance to play against the Bucs. How'd they do?
Listen, you guys are giving Denver's defense too much credit. There were receivers open yesterday. He was holding the ball too long.
Okay, but why?
I think Tyrod gets the ball out quicker.
First of all, Denver's defense is one of the best defenses in the league. That's number one. Number two, what makes you think Tyrod Taylor's good?
Well, listen, look what the kid was doing the first half. I mean, minus 10 yards the whole game.
He was terrified to throw the football.
Your job at halftime is to look and see how you can win this game, who you can put in a position to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
They should have pulled him at halftime. He was having an awful game, taking sacks upon sacks. Most of those sacks were his fault.
They were. I think almost everyone was. Almost everyone was his fault. Yeah. No, I get it, Angelo.
I mean, come on, make a change. And it's just not about winning one game. You guys are saying, it's just one game. You got to win a game for the Quentin Williams.
Yeah.
For the Breece Halls, to give the guys some confidence. The guys that have been here losing all these years. One game is important to start the next step.
I agree.
I don't get it.
I agree. Thanks for the call there, buddy. I agree to an extent. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you and sit here and say I was thinking about Tyrod Taylor during that game. I guess I had hope that maybe Justin would make a play with his legs and maybe scratch out a cheap touchdown or whatever. I don't know, find like he did against the Steelers, that bomb to Garrett Wilson, a breakdown. I don't know I don't really know what I was thinking watching the game, except that I was half asleep like everybody else out there. I do think, though, there's got to be a spark, and it's got to at least be on the table, and it didn't seem like it was, which is a little disconcerting to me. Like, again, I said this in the first hour. You have a backup quarterback. Number one, if your starter goes down. Number two, but also, and this was more in the 80s and the 90s, and Parcells would do this, and actually, Glenn Foley was the starter. You think about one of the only great seasons that the Jets had, 1998. Vinny set a touchdown record that year. I think Chad eventually broke it, but Vinny Testaverde did not start the first two games of that season. It was Glenn Foley in San Francisco. That's when Garrison Hurst had that long run. And then I think they lost to either the Rams or the Ravens, whatever. And then after a couple of games, bang, he gave the football to Vinny. So, and Vinny was a bit of a transient, knock around the league, turnover laden guy. Tyrod Taylor's not changing the ultimate trajectory of the Jets. Could he have stolen him a game yesterday? Maybe, but we'll never know.
Yeah, maybe
we'll
the
never
answer.
Know.
You guys are talking about Tyrod Taylor like he's the next coming.
No, but it's more about Fields. Sal, it's not about Tyrod Taylor. It's more about Justin Fields. Justin Fields had 4.0 seconds to throw the ball.
Understood.
I mean, 8 of the 9 sacks were on Justin Fields. Guys were open.
Yeah, well, who do you think's better, Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor?
Honestly, in terms of throwing the ball under 4, I think it's Tyrod Taylor.
See,
actually, Justin Fields is one of the worst quarterbacks in football, seeing what's in front of him.
I understand.
It's proven.
It's why I didn't like Justin Fields going into the year. So we had a disagreement on that. I didn't love Fields necessarily as a quarterback. However, he's their guy, and I also watched Tyrod Taylor in a very, very, very winnable game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were absolutely ravaged and playing maybe the worst game that they've played all year long, and yet Tyrod Taylor couldn't get the win. I've seen Tyrod Taylor play. Even at his best, Tyrod Taylor's not somebody that's going to ignite an offense. He's okay. We saw him with the Giants. He's okay. He's an okay backup that when needed, you feel like maybe he's serviceable. The upside with Justin Fields, to me, is far significant, and also I do think that Denver's defense was the primary factor yesterday, whereas if you put Tyrod Taylor in that game, you could say that he's better throwing the football or making the reads down the field. I don't think it would have been that much of a difference because of Denver's defense.
Well, Justin Fields' upside is what was very appealing to me when they brought him in. Right. Fairly cheap, mid-20s, all the things we talked about. And now I've actually watched him play every single snap, and he ain't it. So, I just think.
But Tyrod Taylor's not it either.
No. Well, he's again. That's why I say big picture. He's not it. I'm not even close to saying that. What I'm saying is he has been viable enough and more viable throwing the football than Justin Fields has been over the years here. So, a little spark, a little bullpen, a little pinch hit, however you want to frame it, maybe you steal a win. And now you're back home, you play Carolina, maybe you beat Carolina, then you have the Bengals. Like, the culture's got to start somewhere. We could debate, and I'm not saying it's not debatable, but we could debate Tyrod versus Justin yesterday. What I don't think is even remotely debatable is at some point you got to play to the whole locker room, because that's the job of Aaron Glenn, not to hold training wheels for Justin Fields. Justin Fields is not Eli. When we went through this thing with Geno Smith, like, man, you disrespected Eli and you played Geno against the Raiders. Let's find a better plan than this. He's got zero equity with the Jets in terms of Jets. Now, neither does Tyrod Taylor, but he hasn't done a damn thing for the Jets. The way he looked yesterday, which was so bad. In hindsight, Taylor probably would have been bad. I know he wouldn't have been worse. I can promise you that.
Well, if they think that Tyrod Taylor is the best quarterback for them moving forward, then I have no problem with the change. I don't think he's the best option that they have. I still think it's Justin Fields.
Throwing the football, no way. Justin Fields can't throw the ball. But Justin Fields hasn't won a game.
BT, I understand he can't throw the ball. I was the one saying it before the season started.
I understand that. Okay. So you may have been right before the season, so why not change it now?
Because I don't think Tyrod Taylor is that good.
But Justin's got no wins.
But when I watched the game against Tampa, when I watched the game against Tampa, and I came in that next Monday saying you could tell that they missed Justin Fields, and the ability to run the football was lacking with Tampa. They needed offense. Tyrod Taylor couldn't move the team.
I agree with that.
And now we're talking about a Denver defense who is as good a defense as there is in the league.
But think about this. We haven't seen Justin Fields look the way he looked in week one since week one.
Understood. He was terrible yesterday. Nobody's going to say that he wasn't terrible yesterday. I just don't think that Tyrod Taylor would have done much different against the Broncos.
Now, listen, Tyrod Taylor is not outrunning a very good defense. He is not doing things like that in the open field. I can promise you that if Garrett Wilson ran the same routes that he ran yesterday, Tyrod Taylor's not putting the ball 2 yards behind him. And, you got to at least start with the most basic level of functionality. When you have a quarterback who can't even throw to a radius, I'll take the L. I thought he was a little bit better than that. Throwing the ball. He's terrible throwing the ball.
Well, if we get to a point, and maybe Glenn will get to that point, who knows, that he feels like they got to want to win some games here, and Tyrod Taylor gives him the best choice, then he's going to go with Tyrod Taylor. I would expect that. Me personally, so far based on everything that I've seen, I do not believe that Tyrod Taylor gives him the best chance to win.
And by the way, even if he would have gone to Taylor, and listen, I'm keeping it real, I was not really thinking about that in the moment. So it's not like I'm sitting there saying, put in Tyrod Taylor or just jumping into this Tyrod Taylor-Justin Fields debate. No, it's very clear to anybody who watches football, Tyrod Taylor's 5 times better than Justin Fields throwing a football. That's not even debatable. But what is debatable is what's ultimately better for the Jets' big picture this year. Listen, maybe you split the difference. Maybe you go to Tyrod Taylor. Maybe he steals a dub. And then maybe you go right back to Justin Fields.
Right.
Nobody's sitting here saying play Tyrod Taylor the next 11 games. He's got some decisions, because when you keep running somebody out there that's that bad throwing the ball, you run the risk of losing the locker room. And if you don't have that is always going to be step 1 of culture. Before you can get to step 2 and step 3 and being good, you got to at least have guys in the locker room who look at the head coach and say, all right, at least this guy's got my back and he's doing what it takes to win. Right now, there's guys on that team that don't really think he's trying to win.
Maybe they could trade for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell
well, I mean,
Wilson.
it's kind of why not?
I'll trade for Jameis Winston.
Okay.
I don't want any part of Russell Wilson.
BT and
I'll
Sal,
take Jameis.
BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. Guys, by now, you've heard me talk about Collars & Co., makers of the Dress Collar Polo. They've already sold over 1 million of these amazing shirts. Well, Collars & Co. just came out with a new Maverick Performance Blazer. This blazer is sharp and wrinkle-resistant, so you can travel anywhere with it. Just throw it in your bag, and it will remain wrinkle-free. It even comes with security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So visit collarsandco.com and check them out today.
No matter the season, New York sports never stop. Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets. If it's happening, we're talking about it. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
At the United Healthcare Medicare store, right here in Jackson Heights, you can chat face-to-face with a licensed sales agent who understands the community and get clear answers to your questions. We're located at 3752 82nd Street between Roosevelt and 37th Ave. We're ready to help.
Rocket! and roll will never die, and neither will the low prices. It's the Rocktober Savings Event at Nielsen Dodge. We've turned up the volume on Rocktober Savings on any new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, or Ram.
Lease a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4, just $199 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Altitude X 4x4, just $224 a month.
We're rocking out the deals with zero down payment available. $1,500 overbook value for any trade. If you need credit help, we're here to make it happen. And of course, great deals.
On Route 10 in East Hanover, online at NielsenDodge.com, a proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
So for head-banging deals that are music to your ears, at Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Drive into fall event.
With approval term 24 months, due signed Cherokee 5794, Cherokee L 5819, ag tax type 498, doc and DNV.
New York City is delivering for you every day, everywhere. With a $755 million investment in the expansion of a universal after-school program, allowing over 184,000 New York City students to participate. With better schools building brighter futures, NYC is delivering for families, making this the best place to raise yours. Find out more at deliveringforyou.nyc.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
DreamWorks Water Park is now splashier than ever with Gabby's Dollhouse Kiddie Splash Garden. It's the largest indoor water park and splash pad in North America. Just minutes from Manhattan. Get tickets at AmericanDream.com.
This is Tiki Barber. You definitely don't want your heating system to fail this winter. So call my friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts. Have them check your heating system before it breaks. I know Edison Heating and Cooling. They can fix anything. Go now to EdisonHVAC.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early
ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Tune in to the BT and Sal Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on The Fan, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
Talk sports hands-free. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
BT and Sal back on The Fan. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Talking Jets football. Quite the different feel from when we're talking Giants football on Friday after a big win. Jets football on Monday, it doesn't feel the same as it did with Giants when they're coming off that great big win over the Eagles. And we'll see what the Giants could do against this Denver team this coming week. Week 7 in the NFL as we're moving right along here. And look, maybe this is a week where we finally get both teams winning together. Although I don't think it's going to be as easy for the Giants as maybe Giant fans want to think after that big win against the Eagles. I just think Denver's that good. And maybe I could be overrating them. Who knows? We'll see. But I think yesterday was more about Denver's defense than I do think it was about the futility of the Jets offense. Remember, BT, we talked about this with Justin Fields, like whether you wanted him or not, or I thought he was good or not, doesn't really matter. The one thing that the Jets needed to do this year to be successful offensively was run the football. And they have not done that well enough consistently. Certainly didn't do it yesterday well enough consistently, and that's a problem. If teams can stop the run and Denver can stop the run, they're going to have a hard time beating the opponent through the air, and that's exactly what you saw play out yesterday.
Yeah, and they weren't even really behind big. I mean, they were going to be, and there still will, because it's football, 1 or 2 games get away from you. You muff a punt, short field, touchdown, pick 6, touchdown, whatever it might be. And even good teams have a day or two where it's just not there and you're down 20-3 or 27-6. And for a team that's going to run, it's very hard to come back. So I understood that coming in. I really thought, now when Vera Tucker got hurt early, I'm like, all right, it's going to change a little bit now. Braylon Allen's out. Isaiah Davis, not quite maybe what we thought. It's the running game has obviously, the book is out on the Jets. Everybody knows what they want to do, and everybody knows that outside of Garrett Wilson, nobody can really beat you vertically. And the quarterback, he's not going to go through a second progression. So they just bracket Garrett, and it's incredibly easy to game plan against here.
Just looking back over the schedule, it really is a shame they couldn't come away with that opening week win, because that was probably the game where they deserved one more than anything else. And if they got one, maybe that changes the entire narrative and feel. You get one win on the board right away, and now you're not chasing. But think about the first 3 weeks. Okay, you had that game against the Steelers, and even though it was a loss, it just felt really good, encouraging. Okay, week 2 they get spanked by the Bills. That happens, not on the same field as far as the talent level goes, whatever it may be. Now you don't want to accept it, but just the reality where the Jets are at. Yep. Week 3, Aaron Glenn dancing on the sidelines after the blocked field goal turned touchdown. Yet they find a way to lose that game last second, tight game. Miami, not a pretty game, ugly, but still a 6-point game. Then it started to get uglier with the Dallas game, where they just didn't do anything right, and obviously not going to be able to stop the Cowboys. And then this week, where another 2-point game, as ugly as can be, but still, it's not like. I mean, they've been right there. Again, I'm not making excuses, don't get me wrong. Yeah. And there are no moral victories. But I don't think it's as bad as everybody is making it seem when you factor in all certain things. They don't have a good quarterback, and they have a rookie head coach who's learning as we go, who's trying to overcome the history of a franchise in this city where people and media are just ready to pounce. If you actually take it one by one, I don't think it's as bad as it seems in total.
Well, I mean, there's been times where the Jets have looked really good. Yeah. And think about that opening drive against Miami where they fumbled Braylon Allen at the 1.
That's what I mean. Like,
I get it. And the Steelers game, which was a great example of what they could look like when they're playing well. I guess the problem is, like, if you had a young quarterback and they were 0-6 and they showed these flashes, you're like, okay, now you could sit there and say, well, that's the first building block, and let's, crank out a couple of wins as the year goes forward here, and then step 2 next year will be better, build on that. But nobody thinks Justin Fields the quarterback next year. Now you're starting to have people wonder if Aaron Glenn's the coach next year. So even though I agree, they have looked fairly competent. I don't want to say more times than not, but almost 50-50, yeah. But what does it mean big picture when you have no quarterback?
Nothing. I guess the 0-6 just makes it far worse. They shouldn't be judged on their record this year. But 0-6 makes it like if they were 2-4 or 1-5, it would be bad. It wouldn't feel as bad as it does now. And really, they probably should be 2-4, something like that. Like even if you give them the win, week 1, or the Bucs win, or the Broncos. Like I'm not saying all 3 because that's the NFL. It happens.
Yeah.
But really, they should have at least 1, maybe 2 of those wins. And 2-4 under these circumstances wouldn't feel like the world is closing in on Aaron Glenn.
I mean, we'd be sitting here now, probably delusional, but we'd be sitting here. At least I probably would be if they were 2-4. Hey, you got Carolina. Hey, you got the Browns. Hey, you got the Bengals without Burrow. Why can't the Jets be a wild card team? That would be the conversation. I hear you.
BT and Sal on the fan. 888-808-1019.
I saw that, by the way, Sal.
Rob is calling from New London, Connecticut. What's up, Rob?
Hey, gents, how's it going?
What's up, Robbie?
Not too much. Hey, BT, I love your shirt, Naval Veteran. I'm actually retired Navy myself, so nice shirt.
Salute.
That's our guy Brian who sent that for us.
In Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very good.
We just
very
got
good.
That. Yep.
So, that game yesterday was the worst game I've ever seen. Matter of fact, the only way to compare it is to say that it was like watching the 2021 New York Giants led by Joe Judge and Mike Glennon play itself. That's how bad yesterday's game was. And I got to tell you, I'd rather be if I'm a Giants fan right now. I'm feeling pretty good about facing what's his face, Bo Nix, because they don't look very good, to be honest.
Well, they can run the ball,
at least on the offensive end, at least, right?
No, I mean that was a bad game, Robin. Thank you for the call. They're better than that.
They got some weapons.
Yeah,
Cortland Sutton could play. They got some guys who could play.
Yeah, dude. They got Evan Ingram offensively. J.K. Dobbins running the football all year long. Even R.J. Harvey, the backup, can be potentially what Kamara was to the Saints offense years ago. Once they unleash him, they've got weapons all over the place. Now, I would say, and Costos has said this before, that he doesn't believe that Bo Nix is ready to take that next step to elevate that team. I could understand that maybe the weakest link on offense would, in fact, be Bo Nix. But there are some games where he's on that they look unstoppable. Some games where he's off that they look like maybe not a great offensive team. I think Denver, though, was one of the better teams in the AFC.
Did you see the spread for this week coming up with the Giants?
No, let me guess it.
Go ahead.
Denver's at home. I'm going to say Denver minus 5.5.
6.5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I'd probably lay that right now. Now it's Monday, and I want to root for the Giants, so I'm not going to bet it, certainly. But I'm just saying, I think Denver at home's a different animal. Their defense is going to be something different than Jackson Dart's seen all year long. Sean Payton's that one hell of a coach.
I love him.
And think about this. I remember coming on the air being like, Sean Payton should retire. This is pathetic what's going on with Denver in the first year. But it shows you, even a Hall of Fame coach, how long it takes to turn around a team. And it at least took him 1 year to pick apart that mess and get rid of Russell Wilson and all that he needed to do to identify what he wanted to keep, what he needed to get rid of to build his team. And then he gets a rookie quarterback to the postseason here ago. Now they're trying to build on that in a very difficult AFC West as well. So I love Denver and the direction that they're going in.
Yeah, you've been on them all year. And by the way, just to the back to the Jets for a second here with the way a lot of people are framing yesterday like the worst loss ever. It's funny. I mean, it was horrendous. It was boring. It was terrible. It was inept and all the things we've said. I didn't feel, even though it was gross, as I'm watching the game, I feel like I've watched games where Brooks Bollinger was the court. I don't know. But then I saw this one stat, and maybe it was. In the Super Bowl era, teams were 62-0 when checking these 4 boxes. No turnovers themselves, 1 or more takeaways, 2 or fewer penalties, and holding the opposition to 250 or fewer yards. The Jets did all 4 of those things. So now it's 62-1.
Yeah, well, the problem is that because they had no turnovers, you'd think, well, that's a great thing. Yeah, well, the quarterback didn't throw the football.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a major problem there. John is in Greenwich. What's up, John?
Hey, John.
Hey, guys. I got to say, I listened to the pod. I'm into the show. I can't believe I've been rooting for this team for so long. I'm listening to you last week, Brandon, when you're like, I'm giving up, I'm tapping out, and I'm kind of laughing. And then I watched yesterday, and I'm just, I don't know if I could take it anymore. And maybe it's listening to you and feeling those vibes. But the end of the game, 4th and 8, no timeouts. This is the game. You have to get this first. You have to release the ball. And to take a sack in that situation is so unbelievable, lack of football knowledge. I don't care if you just have to skyhook the ball and pray. You have to throw the ball. You cannot take a sack to end the game. It's just more and more and more of the same, and I don't even know what to do anymore.
John, I don't even care, John, if you could do a Kareem skyhook to a left tackle and it could be a penalty for an illegal touch. Just release the football.
Exactly. I just can't understand it. It's got to come down to coaching, right? It has to come down to coaching. I just don't. And Aaron just standing there looking at the sky. He looks lost. He got jetsed like everybody before him. He's being ruined right in front of our eyes, and it's just another failure after another. It's unbelievable.
It's an excellent point, John, and thank you for the call, where he's getting jetsed. And Glenn, to me, has the right makeup to get through it and get out of it. But something needs to change. He's got to, it seems like he's got the support of Woody Johnson, which is encouraging, because you just never know. I have no idea. If the media starts to get loud enough and the fans start to get loud enough, maybe Woody does make a change. Who the hell knows? But he needs that for the first part of it, and let Woody know, hey, look, it's going to take some time here. And then he's got to stay true to himself, and I think Glenn at times has gotten away from that, which to me is indicative of a guy who's learning. He's still learning. He believes in one thing, but then when something goes against that belief and things are, fighting against that, maybe he tries to change a little bit, and he's going to understand that that's not the right way to do it. Stick to his core beliefs and whatever he believes in through the storm, right or wrong. And if you're going to go down being you, not trying to acquiesce or make somebody else happy. And I think that that's a feeling out process that we've seen through the first few weeks so far of the season.
I think there's one characteristic that he has that a lot of his predecessors did not, and this does not include Rex, because Rex obviously had this, but he is a fighter. There's no question about that. You watched Gase, and it was just, this guy's, he didn't even want to get his hands in front of his face. He wanted no part of the New York battle. And Robert Saleh, who we thought would be that scrappy, figure and that tough leader, was, again, he looked like Tarzan, he coached like Jane. So at least
years wore him down as well. He was a shell of what he was.
Not corny, poems and rhymes on Hard Knocks, and just never holding anybody accountable. Complete, just not the guy. Yeah. Aaron, if anything, he's been a little bit too combative, going after Costello, same old Jets, early thing. I'd rather have that. It's like a young athlete. You can always kind of want, dial them down a little bit rather than dial them up. Or a really shy kid, I'd rather have somebody that maybe has a little more energy, dial them down, than somebody who's painfully shy. I'm not casting aspersions on shy kids at all. But if you are really, really shy, it's probably hard to become, a little bit more comfortable in the middle of those conversations. So I will much, much prefer going down with somebody who's got a set of stones, which we all know that Aaron Glenn does. Does he have enough brain power up there to be the coach? I think he does as well, but it is a rocky start. It's ugly, and the vultures are starting to hover, and when that happens, all bets are off. 888-808-1019, PT and Sal on the Fan. Hey, we've got 4 distinct all-electric Cadillacs. Some drive them for the performance, others for the range, and some drive them because it's the only way to make an entrance. 3 different ways to turn every drive into a great occasion. So whatever the reason is, never been a better time to say, let's take the Cadillac.
Yeah, the all-electric Cadillac family of vehicles, the Escalade IQ, the Vistic, the Optic, and the Lyric. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. The BT and Sal Show is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. James Franklin is out, and Penn State's now got one of the best jobs in college football up for grabs. Top of their list, probably Matt Rule. He played for Penn State, loves the place, and has deep ties with athletic director Patrick Kraft. But don't sleep on Curt Cignetti, who made Indiana a powerhouse. Lane Kiffin as an outside-the-box hire would be my choice. The question isn't if they'll find a great coach, it's which one they'll bet the future on. I'm Maggie Gray.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Sitting in the driver's seat of the Nissan Kicks is like the best seat in the house. You're in the action. And with the Nissan Kicks all-wheel drive, you can go find the best views. And with the 10-speaker Bose Personal Plus audio system, you can hear everything. Your new wheels await. Reimagine your ride with the reimagined Nissan Kicks. Now get the 2025 Nissan Kicks starting at just $21,830. Shop your local Nissan store or nissanusa.com. Starting MSRP at $21,830 for base model. All prices are manufacturer suggested retail price. MSRP. MSRP excludes up to $1,495 destination and handling charges, tax, title, and license. Dealer sets actual price.
Hey, Tiki here. Imagine a world where all your smart devices work together seamlessly in one simple ecosystem. Introducing the Sloman's Shield Link. With Sloman's Shield Link, transform your home into a truly intelligent smart home experience. Control your lights, heating and cooling, door locks, cameras, TVs, just about anything in your home. Life is busy and daily stresses add up. But with Sloman's Shield Link, your home tech works in harmony, making life more convenient, safe, and enjoyable. Now imagine pulling into your driveway, and with one tap, your home welcomes you. Lights on, doors unlocked, only to hear your favorite music. A true smart home isn't just about gadgets. It's about comfort and security. With Sloman's Shield, enjoy a full integration of home security and automation, all at your fingertips. Make your life easier and your home a safer haven. Learn more at slomanshieldlink.com or call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Embrace the future of home living with Sloman's Shield Link.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions, participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Your gut does more than just digest. It drives your energy, mood, and immunity. At Terra Origin, we blend ancient Ayurvedic wisdom with cutting-edge science to support your gut and whole body wellness. Since 2016, Healthy Gut is crafted with safe, powerful herbs, probiotics, and nutrients, rooted in tradition, proven by science. Feel better from the inside out. Terra Origin, ancient insight, modern wellness. Available at terraorigin.com and select retailers.
Town Fair Tire honors any valid rebates, manufacturers or competitors' rebates. Yes, even any competitors' rebates. And we give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Let's go! You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Windy with rain that could lead to some flooding, high 59.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
It's out back on the Fan, 888-808-1019, the number to call. We'll get back to the calls in a little bit. Did you see that was
the
funny.
story I just told Sal. This story I cannot tell on the air, but if I did, you guys would crash because you'd be laughing so hard.
Oh God, I have tears in my eyes. All right. Anyway, I also have tears in my eyes from thinking about Pete Alonso talking about how he wants a 7-year contract. Like, come on, Pete, come back to us here. There's no way he's getting 7 years. Now, I would say you and I differ on this all the time. I don't care how many years he wants. It's all about the money. So if I'm willing to go 5 years for 150, I'd be willing to go 7 years for 150. It's a lower AAV. It's the same amount of money being spent. If you get to the point where in 5 years you want to move on, you just cut them and you pay the 2 years anyway. To me, it's not about the years as it is about the cost. Pete's going to want 25 or 30 million a year for the entirety of 7 years. And if that's the case, now nobody's going to be willing to give it to him. But if somebody is, good luck. Like, good luck.
No, he's not getting 7 years. On what planet is Pete going to get 7 years?
He's lucky if he gets 5, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could be. Now, what he got last year was unfair. I mean, and he came back and he responded. I mean, as unfair as it could be for a contract.
I was going to say,
with that kind of money.
He got the highest paid first base. He was the highest paid first baseman.
Yeah, they did split
AAV.
the difference out. I'm just talking about in terms of length and now the ability. And he's got the power to opt out, which he obviously will. And I just think that because he did answer a lot of questions last year offensively, he had a really, really, almost borderline great offensive season. So, it's not going to be 2 years. I don't think it's going to be 3. You start to get into that for the Mets. I'm talking about the Mets evaluation is going to be, and maybe you can make the case it shouldn't be, but based on what he means and all the other homegrown and all the other things, I do think that the Mets should offer an extra year, maybe 2. But there is not a team in baseball that's coming with 6 or 7 years for Pete Alonso. It's just not happening.
Yeah, even 6, again, if it's the same money, what's the difference? If my offer to him would be like, all right, well, we're going to give you $150 million. We want over 5 years. You want it over 7? So be it. I'm fine with that. Now, he's going to want more money. I'd maybe go up incrementally over that. There's no world in which Pete Alonso is getting a $200 million contract from me. Maybe somebody else is going to be willing to give that to him. There's no way. Like, if you do the math, he's going to want, for sure, $30 million a year, right? So if you go 30 times 7, that's going to be $210.
Yeah.
So he's going to be looking for a $200 million contract. at 7 years, $30 million a year, $200 million. That's going to be the number. I don't know this I'm just saying, like, using common sense. And in my mind, there's no way, like, maybe 170. Maybe if you do 170 divided by, 6, let's say. 170 divided by 6 is going to give you 20. Yeah, okay. All right, well, maybe the first couple years are 30, and then it goes down from there. All right, fair enough. I'll do that. There's no world. That's me extending. There's no world in which I'm going over 170. None. I'm sorry. At that, you got to draw the line somewhere. For a guy who's going to be, I want him to DH now, let alone in 7 years or 5 years. So I want him to DH now. I can't clog that spot up for 7 years.
No way.
It's not happening.
There's no way. I factor this in a little bit, like the benchmark of him eventually possibly getting to 500 home runs as a Met.
Yeah.
Like, that would be an amazing thing. Like, think about when he broke Darrell's record. That was cool for Met fans. He's a homegrown Met. All right. But I don't think that Met fans realize, like, how far he's off from 500.
And me personally, I don't even care about that. But go ahead.
I hear you, but a lot of people do. Like, I think Evan cares more than you, and maybe Hoff cares more than you.
But I'm trying to build a winning team. I couldn't care less about the benchmark myself.
Understood. But I say that because there's value there too. Because if he's chasing 500 now, they can monetize that
That'd be
more.
fun. That'd be cool. Yeah,
so you'd make so it would be good for most fans, and they'd also make some money off of it. So it could be a win-win. But he's at 264. Let's say he signs a 5-year deal, which I think could be a year more than he actually signs. But let's just say that for easy math, right? And he averages 40 home runs, which I still think is a bit high. But he does that for 5. That's 200 home runs. He's still short of, 500 home runs. At that point, he would be at 464. And then, obviously, another good season or two, he's going to get there. I'm not saying he can't get there, but it's not nearly as imminent as I think some Met fans who care about that stuff make it seem to be.
Yeah, I do think that it's going to come down to what the market says. So we could talk about it. Pete could talk about what he wants. Do we really think the market is going to say that Pete Alonso is going to get a 7-year deal?
No, there's no chance.
Okay.
There's no chance.
Me neither. So, and if it did, then you say goodbye, you move on. But in the likely event that it doesn't, now you come back down to reality. Okay, well, then what would the Mets be willing to give? They're going to let the market dictate it, just like they did a year ago. And maybe the market's going to be more significant for Pete. I would hope for his sake that it would be. I would think that it would be. How much more? Is it going to be a lot more than 3-4 years? Is it going to be more than 5 years? I can't imagine that being the case. So I'm good with 5 years, 150. If I absolutely had to and the market says 6 for 170, okay. If the market says that and I really want Pete back, yes. And it would be, for me, under the idea that, Pete, you are going to now be our primary DH. You'll play a little first base. Let's say you play half the time at first base, but primary DH. Mm-hmm. And in big games, certainly, you don't have to say this to him now, but like in the bigger games, he's going to be DHing. Uh-huh. And you want to have a better defensive presence there at first base. But as the time goes on, he's going to be DH. And I trust that he's going to hit 30 home runs, drive in 100 runs every year for the next 5 years. At the very least, that's what I would expect from Pete Alonso. So to me, that's worth the investment. Anything more than that is just absurd.
Ooh, I agree. Well, listen, one thing that we know about Pete Alonso, he provided, good, not that he really needs it, but he provided good, he had Juan Soto's back, and I think Juan Soto in front of him was good for Pete Alonso. Let's face it. Juan's always on base. Pete's getting more fastballs. He hit more than he did the year before. Like, he didn't miss good pitches this year. He didn't expand the zone as much. I think he refined his approach, which is great. But Pete very well might have a decision where a team, I don't know, who knows, Toronto, not Toronto at this point, but some team that's desperate to give away money, and maybe there's an extra year, or maybe there's an extra $30 or $40 million attached to the deal. Pete very well might, if you really love being a Met, you might have to leave a few bucks on the table to remain a Met.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to do that.
I don't think he will either because of last year. I think he's pissed off.
Now a little bit of a bigger picture thing. For me, this is just me. If I'm building a team, I want balance, and I want a couple of high-octane, superstar-type power bats, or impact bats. Doesn't necessarily have to be power. They have one in Juan Soto. He's not going anywhere. That's the move I would have made. They did. He's their cornerstone piece. To me, you need then one more, and their choice should be, is it going to be Lindor or is it going to be Alonso? It's why I would trade Lindor if I could, because I think now is going to be the best value for Lindor, being that his defense is already declining. He's only going to get older, and he's getting paid, a lot of money for the next 6 years, whatever's left on his contract. I would rather invest in the power and production offensively of Pete Alonso to complement Soto. My tandem would be Soto-Alonso. And then I would use the rest of the money to diversify, whether it be in the rotation, whether it be in building a better, well-rounded roster around him. But my two bats would be Soto and Alonso. Now, the easy thing to do for them would be to let Alonso go and make it Lindor and Soto. I just don't like that you wouldn't have another power bat behind Juan Soto instead, and I feel like you could make up some of Lindor's numbers with a better balanced lineup.
All right, interesting. Question for you. Number one, do you think that the Mets will be, on any level, amenable to trading Brandon Nimmo?
Yeah, I don't know this for a fact. I would have to think that they would be open to that if it presented itself, yes. Or at least aggressively looking for it.
I would be.
Yeah.
And whether or not they will be, I don't know. But I think that I would be, and I think that they should be. Right. So that was the first question. The second question is,
but his value is clearly not the same as...
No, they'd have to eat a little bit of money, but I'm just kind of, I'm getting to a different point. So you say Soto and Pete. Well, if they're able to trade Nimmo, why can't it be Soto and Tucker? Why not? Let Pete walk.
Well, but...
trade Nimmo.
Here's why, because to me... You'd have to move on from Lindor to make it just that two and get like Nimmo's money is not as significant as Lindor.
No, it's not.
Now, you could say that
Lindor's a better player.
Okay, I understand that for now, but he's also potentially he is declining defensively.
Yeah, the bad year defensively.
Potentially going to get worse sooner than later. And by the way, I'm not saying they're going to trade Lindor because I don't think that they will, but that would be the thing that I would be looking to do. And then you could say, well, why not just have 3 stars? Okay, well then you could have Lindor and Soto, and then pick your third. Is it going to be Tucker? Is it going to be Alonso? Like, there's different ways to invest that. Either way, it involves moving on from either Lindor and Nimmo or one or the other. I would look to move on from both of those if I could and invest in Pete's power, which I think is the most sound investment. You're not getting that from Tucker. You could get good production elsewhere from Tucker. I don't think you could bank on the power that you're getting or that you've gotten from Pete, especially in New York.
No, you're not getting that power. But what you're doing is you're becoming, a better defensive team. You're becoming more of a contact team. And by the way, listen, I hope he stays with the Yankees. If they're ever able, now if they can't trade Nimmo, then I don't think then he can play center field actually, Bellinger. But I think there's a lot of options for the Mets now because we worry about some of their guys who are making a lot of money, and that's undeniable. And as much as Cohen's got, it's not an endless pit of here. I mean, he's going to have some solvency here. So
it's also not just about the money. It's about taking positions away from players who could be better to do those, whether it's Alonso and his deficiencies, whether it's Nimmo and his deficiencies, whether it's Lindor, Soto and his, all those guys have clear areas of deficiencies.
No question about it.
That's, to me, even more important than the money.
Yes, and I also think, and listen, this is a bigger, broader off-season discussion. It starts with Pete today, but if you let Diaz walk, and I don't know if a lot of Met fans would want to do that, but if you let Diaz walk and you want to give Holmes the job as closer for a year, you save a ton of money. All right, you have Sproat, you definitely have McClain, you got some young arms who aren't making big money in the rotation. Like there is a way to bring back Pete, to trade Nimmo, and to make a real run at Tucker or Bellinger.
BT and Sal on the Fan. When we come back, we'll reset down with the king topic of the day. It is the New York Jets.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
I don't know about you, but I remember Jackson Dart being a bit of a project heading into the draft. And people thinking that of all the quarterbacks taken in the first round, he may very well be the least equipped to step in and start right away.
Listen to CMAC on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
4 distinct all-electric Cadillacs. Some drive them for performance. Others drive them for the range. And some drive them because it's the only way to make an entrance. 3 different ways to turn every drive into an occasion. Whatever your reason, there's never been a better time to say, let's take the Cadillac. The all-electric Cadillac family of vehicles. Escalade IQ, Vistic, Optic, and Lyriq. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today.
Want fast, reliable home internet? Switch to Verizon Fios, where you get the 100% fiber optic network with speeds up to 2 gig. And if you're looking for live TV with up to 400 plus channels and live sports, Fios TV is where it's at. Get the internet speed you want and the TV you love when you bundle Fios home internet and TV with Verizon. Plus, get the latest deals when you call 1-883-VERIZON and switch to Verizon Fios today. Availability varies.
Hey everyone, Boomer here. How long have I been talking about the Chef IQ Sense wireless thermometer? You know how much I love it, but check out what one of our listeners says. It's phenomenal. You want to make a brisket, you look at your phone, and your mouth starts watering when you've got 20 minutes left. Phenomenal. The Chef IQ Sense is the wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat. Whether cooking on a stovetop, oven, or grill, the app alerts you when everything's done. Order the newly released 3rd generation Chef IQ Sense now at chefiq.com.
Lunch was great. Greenwich Village is a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Town Fair Tire honors any valid rebates, manufacturers or competitors' rebates. Yes, even any competitors' rebates. And we give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Hey, it's Sal Licata. Get your game on at Wing Creek Bethlehem. Play the hottest slots and table games, or go big in the poker room. Feel the thrill of live dealer stadium gaming. Try axe throwing or virtual golf. Dine at their classic steakhouse, chop house, or enjoy contemporary urban cuisine at Urban Table. Cap it off with cocktails and a stay at Wing Creek's AAA 4-Diamond Hotel. Play online anytime in the Wing Creek Casino-verse. Learn more at wingcreekbethlehem.com. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you fans? It's football season, so make sure you catch all of the Scarlet Knights gridiron action this season on WFAN. Scarlet Knights football is presented by RWJ Barnabas Health, the official healthcare provider of Rutgers Athletics. Let's be healthy together.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Come visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers at any one of their 6 locations.
Ray Catino Lexus of Freehold is the largest Lexus dealership in central and southern New Jersey.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Stations.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon. At noon, I'm Justin Rock. This is sponsored by the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands Racetrack. Get all your parlays, money line, and prop wagers made on all the sports action at the Meadowlands Racetrack's FanDuel Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook in North America. 21 plus to wager and present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Dial 1-800-GAMBLER. More woe and despair for the Jets yesterday in London. Gangrene, -10 passing yards, the worst total from an NFL team in 27 years. Head coach Aaron Glenn refusing to let the rough start weigh him down.
I know everybody wants to win, but no one wants to go through the hard stuff. And that's what we're going through right now. We're going through the hard times to put ourselves in positions to win. So I have all the confidence in the world in this team. I have all the confidence in the world in this coaches. I have confidence in myself, and I'm not going to waver not one bit.
Gangrene still the NFL's lone winless team. Monday Night Football, Westwood One coverage of the Commanders and Bears here on the Fan starts at 7:30. NHL, couple of local teams in action on the holiday. Islanders and Jets, 1 p.m. puck drop from UBS Arena. Devils Blue Jackets from Columbus at 7. NBA preseason, Knicks Wizards tonight from the Garden at 7:30. Fan weather sponsored by Approved Oil. Visit freezetherate.com. Approved Oil has been the leading heating oil dealer with the lowest rates in New York for over 90 years. Lock in today before the cold winter drives prices up. Act now and don't get left out in the cold. Enjoy a worry-free winter with Approved Oil. Visit them at freezetherate.com. It's 58 degrees and cloudy in Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Justin Rock.
This city lives and breathes sports. WFAN is where Yankees fans argue with Mets fans and Giants fans debate Jets fans. Live, loud, and daily. The Fan, 101.9 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey iHeartRadio.
Back on the Fan on this Monday now afternoon, and unfortunately, like too many Mondays before, it's another reaction to another Jets loss in what is another embarrassing performance in many ways. Obviously, to me, the main culprit would have been Justin Fields. I still did not think that Tyrod Taylor would have been the answer, although Justin Fields was awful. But my issue were with Aaron Glenn, the way he managed that end of the first half. He's since acknowledged his mistakes, or even the end of the game, just try to kick the field goal there. He did not do that. So many issues once again, BT, even though there were some positive signs, whether it's cleaning up the penalties, whether the defense being much better, still many issues in another Jets loss.
There's just too many issues here. And let's face it, guys, we're scarred by all the other, failures that came before Aaron Glenn. So let's say in 2 years, Aaron Glenn's, if he is, and I really hope it works out, obviously, and I think there's a chance that it still could. I'm not getting on the air saying fire him today, but I'm very worried about how he looks very scattered during some of these moments. That's not exactly a good sign. But let's say that Glenn's out soon. The next guy comes in. The first time things go awry, guess what? It all leads us back to this mental instability because we've all been jarred and scarred for so long. So there's the small picture, like the Jets should have won that game. As good as Denver is, I mean, they made a litany of mistakes. The turnover on the opening drive, they gave up a 70-plus yard kickoff return. They got burned on a fake punt conversion. They had holding in the end zone, and the Jets score 11 points. Like, you can't make it up. Fields holds the ball way too long. They have no trust in him. It's apparent based on their lack of willingness to even go for it at the end of the half with that ridiculous, pathetic display of waving the white flag. So they don't have a ton of talent in too many important spots. They have got one wide receiver. Their secondary stinks. Nobody thought they'd be amazing this year, but you have to hope it's stabilized soon, Sal, because if it's not stabilized soon, even somebody who could wind up being very good like Aaron Glenn is going to get swallowed up by the Jets hate and the Jets fans' discontent because we've had it.
Right, but I think that we're watching a first-time head coach learn. It's part of the risk when you hire a guy who's never done it before at this level. And Aaron Glenn has worked his way up, of course, and has had some success as an assistant, coordinator, whatever you want to say. But this is bound to happen with first-time head coach. Todd Bowles is better in Tampa. Not because it's not New York or because it's not the Jets, although that may be a part of it, but also because he learned from his 4 years with the Jets. Like, that's a part of it. This should not be a breeding ground for others to go elsewhere and have success, whether it's Sam Darnold, whoever it may be. You pick the head coach, we just reference Todd Bowles. Like, you should be not learning at the NFL level, especially in New York. But that's what they're in with Aaron Glenn. And I do like all the intangibles as far as his attitude, what he has to say, even being terse with the media. I don't care what he says or questioning dumb questions in his mind. I care about how he manages a game, and that was not anywhere near where it needs to be yesterday. But I do believe that he learned from it, and you hope that he doesn't make these stupid mistakes moving forward. The problem is they're 0-6, and the problem is the noise is getting louder and louder, and who knows how long Aaron Glenn is going to survive here, or if Woody reacts, and then we could be in the same spot again next year with somebody new.
But that's the only reason why I do have an issue with whether it's combativeness or terseness, not because I'm from the generation of everybody gets a trophy. It's the exact opposite. If you don't win, you don't get nothing. I mean, that's come on. We're both from the same school when it comes to that. But I just think it adds extra things on his plate that, you know, that can get in the way of him being judged fairly. That was a totally good question by Costello. And Aaron treated him like, you know, you would treat, not that you should never treat a 10th grade journalism student this way either, but like almost like he had zero credentials. Like, how dare you ask me that? Dude, it's a fair question, Aaron. So you live and you learn. We've all made mistakes, whether it's early on the mic for you and I, or early in a marriage, or early in a friendship, or whatever it might be. Like, you've got to give people the room to grow, but it's got to start soon. And if he continues to jab and, go back and forth with the media, it's not going to end well. You're not going to give him a fair shake.
And as for the Tyrod Taylor thing, like, we could disagree on that. And I know you and I are, I think, pretty much in agreement. Like, it never registered to me, oh, let's go to Tyrod Taylor. And maybe that's because winning the game with a backup quarterback to me was not paramount yesterday. I understand you're trying to win the game, and I understand that Justin Fields was awful, but there are seasons where that may have been the case. If the Jets were fighting for a playoff spot, maybe that would have been the case. This is still in the infancy stages here, trying to see what this Jets team is made of. They went and made their decision. Justin Fields is their starting quarterback. Also, I don't believe Tyrod Taylor is any good. I think he's a good backup and had some success as a starter in this league. Even then, it was limited success. Like, Tyrod Taylor's not some great thrower of the football. He also makes plays with his legs and is limited throwing the football. Could he have been better than Fields? Hard to imagine anybody could have been worse, but I don't think that the answer was Tyrod Taylor. I don't necessarily think that would have won them that game, nor do I think it would have been the right move.
Okay, fair enough. And we don't know. And again, I was not sitting there thinking Tyrod Taylor in real time either, so I'm with you there. But I do hope that Aaron Glenn learned something yesterday, where if we're in a similar situation, whether it's this week against Carolina and Justin's holding the ball and he's just not giving his team a chance to move the ball and score some points, even if it's just for a little flicker of hope, he owes it to the locker room to give Tyrod Taylor a chance. Now, do I think the results would be better? I do, because I think Tyrod Taylor is far superior throwing the football. Justin Fields really might be one of the worst throwers of the football in the NFL. Now, there's also a reason why Tyrod Taylor's been pretty much a backup for 15 years. Understood. But he's got the respect of everybody in the locker room, and I would hate to see Aaron Glenn sabotage his own growth to be committed to somebody who's not even going to be here next year in Justin Fields. If it was somebody that you drafted first or second or third overall that you really believe in, that's one thing. If it's somebody who did stuff for you in the past and had some equity with the franchise, with the fan base, that's something else. And I'm not trying to bury Justin Fields for the rest of the year. I'm just saying that you have to win a couple of games to reinforce the culture change so it could take root a little bit. There's only so many times you can stand in front of a room and say, guys, we're almost there. We're going to get there, I promise, with a goose egg in the win column. That does validate something, even if it's a singular win. So I do think that he learned, if the game's in a balance and Fields is playing terribly again, I think that we'll see Taylor at some point.
Yeah, and there may come a point where Glenn feels Tyrod Taylor gives them the best chance to win. I don't believe that that's the case right now. But so I would not have done that even at the halftime, whatever it may be, even if it's an awful game. I still would have stuck with my guy, Justin Fields. I still would have Fields go out there and start this week. But maybe he gets to a point where he says, you know what, we got to win some games. Yep. And Tyrod Taylor gives us the best chance to win, and we see a quarterback change. I just did not think yesterday would have been the time for that. BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Jim is calling from Newark, New Jersey. What's up, Jim?
Hey, fellas. Thanks for taking the call. I appreciate it. A little background. I'm 56, and my dad got Jet season tickets in 1977.
Wow.
So we've seen a lot of losing over the years. Last year, my dad was giving up the tickets. We had a big family blowout at the last Jet game, and I saw how much my 17-year-old was enjoying it. And I said, Dad, you know what? I'm going to take the tickets over for another year because I remembered when I was a teenager how much I loved the Jets. But BT, you brought it up before, how you kind of tuned out now. I hit that point years ago. You know where I am now? I'm at the point of hate watching the Jets. That's where I'm at. When they played the Cowboys, I was yelling for the Cowboys to call timeout before halftime because I knew the Jets were going to screw it up. And if you look at Aaron Glenn, he also made a mistake before halftime. I believe it was the Bills game where he overthought it, and he knew Buffalo was getting the ball to start the third quarter, so he tried to do something crazy, and it didn't work out. But Aaron Glenn isn't getting fired in his first year. I'd be shocked if they make that move. On the other hand, Justin Fields is an 11th round draft pick from 2021 on his third team already.
I know we all know 11th overall, not 11th round. Keep going. 11th overall. Keep going.
Yeah, 11th overall pick in the first round. I'm sorry, not in the 11th round. Yep. So I believe that's where the problem lies. He is the issue. He's not an NFL caliber quarterback. Two other teams have already figured that out. Yeah. And now the Jets are taking a flyer on him. So that's our biggest problem. And just one more point, guys. They talked about it at the postgame yesterday. The Jets got 11 TDs this season. 7 of them are in the fourth quarter. Basically garbage time because they've been trailing every game.
I saw the stat.
4 TDs for real when it mattered. I mean, nobody's winning like that.
Yeah,
well, I mean, appreciate the time, guys, man. It's going to be a long season.
Thank you, Jim. Again. Thanks for the call there, Jim. Again, is right. I mean, listen, 11 touchdown, most in garbage time of the game is out of reach, and you do a little prevent defense, whatever. Okay, true, but they also should have had one against Miami, and that was the opening drive where they just shoved it down their throat and they ran it time after time again. It's not that there's no hope, but see, the problem with Justin Fields, and again, I admit I was a little fooled by this here, right? You see a young, pretty jacked and just like he emits leadership and he emits energy. And I do think that there's guys in that locker room that respond to him. And we did see him play at Ohio State and win a lot of games and put up a lot of points and pair with some guys on Saturdays that are now doing their thing on Sundays, including Garrett Wilson.
And he played great in week 1.
He played awesome. That was one of the best games he's ever played, there's no doubt. And then, of course, yesterday was the absolute worst that he's ever played. So, and in between, you've had much more like yesterday than like the Steelers. But he just cannot decipher what's in front of him. And I'll let Boomer tell you that. Maybe Tiki can tell you that even as a running back. I don't pretend to know fully, what is that threshold where if you can't go through progressions, if you hold on the ball, if you're afraid to let it go, if you can't anticipate, what is the point where you can never recover from that? I don't know, but I feel pretty confident saying that Justin Fields will never be good, and I thought that he could be good.
Okay, but remember how the Jets were supposed to be built this year offensively. It was never that Justin Fields was a good thrower of the football. They were supposed to run the football. Run the football consistently. So while everybody's focusing on Justin Fields and the idea that he's holding on to the ball forever, maybe if anything, should have gone with Tyrod Taylor. How about you run the football? How about that? How about you don't throw it as many times? Like, to me, that's an issue too. And Breece Hall, not that they threw it a ton, but still, Breece Hall's got to be better at running the football. So the Jets as a whole, now losing Braylon Allen did not help their cause, obviously. Losing Vera Tucker did not help their cause, but they should still, like, the Jets were never going to be successful, period, if they could not run the football. That is how they were built. They were supposed to run the football and play defense. That's like the bare minimum of a foundation for a team that doesn't have much else. We're going to run the football, play it close to the vest, play some solid defense, and hope to win some tight games. That's how they were built. And that can't happen. They couldn't run the football on the Broncos yesterday. And that's not a lot of people can. Broncos are good defensively. So I would chalk up yesterday, while it was frustrating to watch Justin Fields do what he did, while it was frustrating to watch Aaron Glenn make some of the idiotic decisions that he made, or the indecision, whatever, that he made, to me, I chalk it up to Denver just has a superior defense, and that's why the Jets lost the game.
And the superior coach. And that goes without saying. And the next thing that we're going to have to really start dialing into, especially if they don't beat Carolina or Cincy without Burrow, is November 2nd. That's the NFL trade deadline. And that could represent, a window for the Jets to get some real, you tell me a team that I'd have to really look at the standings, but you tell me there's not a team out there that wouldn't love to have Breece Hall? They're not going to extend Breece Hall.
I would trade everybody. Yeah, I'm talking Garrett. Well, no, seriously.
I wouldn't trade Garrett.
Yeah,
I heard you say that last night.
I would.
I wouldn't trade Garrett. Listen, I think that here's what I think the Jets have. And it's a very short list. I think they've got two very good, very interesting offensive tackles, obviously one on each side. I think Garrett Wilson is a first tier, the lower end of the first tier, but for me, a first tier wide receiver. I think they nailed it with Mason Taylor. With a better quarterback, they've got themselves finally their young tight end. I mean, I'm not a big Sauce guy at this point, but I don't even really count him. They've got a really good defensive tackle, and they've got, whether it's Jermaine Johnson or Will McDonald, and Quincy Williams when he's healthy, a couple of good, interesting pieces in the front seven. That's it, man. So if somebody calls me up and wants Breece Hall, I'm not signing Breece Hall, who already ripped up his knee, hasn't won anything, isn't as good as some people think. Like, if somebody wants to give me a third-round pick for Breece Hall, I'm taking it.
I'm not even sure you get that, but I would be open for business on anybody. Sports Talk on WFAN is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Steve is in Fairfield, Connecticut. What's up, Steve?
Hey, how's it going? Sal, a couple things. One, you're wrong about Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor yesterday. You said that Tyrod Taylor wouldn't ignite the offense. You didn't need to ignite the offense. They needed 3 points. If they literally spiked the ball every single drop back they went to pass, they would have had a better offensive performance than what they had. They had negative 10 yards passing. If they spiked it every time, they would have 10 more yards. So, Justin Fields needed to be benched at some point yesterday.
So let me ask you this. Hold on, Steve. So if you would have gone to Tyrod Taylor, now of course if he pulls a rabbit out of a hat and he throws a touchdown, they win. Then you probably have to give him the start. When you're saying just go to him for a minute and see what happens, and then go back to Justin Fields, or you're thinking Tyrod Taylor?
In yesterday's game, I would have put Tyrod Taylor in, and then yes, they would have went back to Justin Fields next week against Carolina. Tyrod Taylor's not the long-term answer. Justin Fields most likely isn't, but you still have a higher ceiling potentially. So you got to figure it out that you paid him. If he stinks again, you take him out again. But yesterday was a game you could have won. That was pathetic. I mean, we've watched terrible quarterbacks for the last 15 years. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. The issue is Woody Johnson. He has a horrible character assessment. He cannot pick the right people. Every time he picks the wrong coaches. You also said that Bowles was a good coach. He was beyond terrible when he was the Jets coach, and he stunk early on with Tampa Bay. He took a team with Brady that went 13-4. Then he went 8-9 in his first year as a head coach there, and he still had Bruce Arians basically calling all the shots. The next year he went 9-8 with Baker, and then he went 10-7. Those aren't necessarily great years. And
Steve,
really good here.
Steve, stop.
Yeah.
You sound like you sound lost when you say that. Have you watched the Bucs and what they've done? You reference it so you do know what's going on.
He went 8-9 with Brady. The year before they went 13-4. That's a huge drop off.
Okay, he's not perfect. He's a good coach, one of the best coaches in the league right now, with one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, but he's been there for 8 years, and he was the defensive coordinator, and he still is Bruce Arians. And I'm not saying he's the worst one, but my point is Woody Johnson stinks at hiring talent. For the first time ever, they're going to probably get a top 5 pick, maybe 1 overall. They're going to take a quarterback, and it's going to be the same thing where they have a defensive coach. They don't build around the quarterback. Take a quarterback and then get a new head coach that could actually design a system for that quarterback.
Who? I'm not saying you're wrong, Steve, but who?
Right.
Guys,
he doesn't like Todd Bowles, who's been in the playoffs almost every year since he's been there. Been a winning coach. I mean,
Todd's become a good coach, man.
Come
a
on,
lot
dude.
of respect for Todd Bowles. There's no doubt. Listen, to me, now when he brings up Woody, because he spent most of the call early on Tyrod and Justin Fields, which, okay, that's a little ancillary piece of the puzzle. The big issue is Woody. And I'm going to tell you the problem with Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson, as an owner, is a headline hound. He is desperate, and I don't mean like where he's in the paper every day. I don't mean that. He's fairly, anonymous in terms of the day-to-day operations. But what he desperately craves, and you need to understand this, he desperately craves for the Jets to eventually win, and then everybody say, wow, Woody, you got it done. Why do you think he never hires an established head coach? Because if he brought in, like Parcells, like there's not many Parcells, but like a Gruden or I don't know, or Pete Carroll, and they would actually win, who's getting all the credit? It's going to be the veteran head coach that probably won before somewhere else. If it's Robert Saleh, if it's Gase, although he was the head coach with the Dolphins. If it's obviously Aaron Glenn or anybody else that he's hired that was a first year, everybody, Mangini, who gets the credit? Woody. Wow, look at the foresight. Woody Johnson, what an exemplary owner. Wow, what a vision. That's the biggest problem. He's got this underlying desire to be the man. He didn't even know football, let alone being the man. So what he should do whenever he hires a new coach, how about you hire somebody who's done it before and just get the hell out of the way and stay out of the way?
I think part of the problem is that the guys who have done it and done it well before don't want to deal with whatever he's...
It's a big part of it. They're like, why would I go work for him?
Exactly. Less about that he wants to get credit for, although maybe there's something to that, and more about like these guys... They see how it's run. They're like, there's no way I'm going to work here and have success here. Aaron Rodgers tried to clean it up. He saw it was a disaster. He tried to identify all the things and help them get the hell out of the abyss. And then guess what happened? They made Aaron Rodgers out to be the problem. All of them. Whether it's the players in the locker room, the owner, the front office, the media at times, same thing. Rodgers was the one guy who actually had a clue and he wanted to be here. And look what happened. Pushed him out of town. Couldn't wait to get him out of here. Because he's done, right? Look at what he did with the Steelers yesterday. Look what he's doing this year. Obviously, it's the Jets. It's the Jets. It's not the different head coaches. It's not the failed quarterbacks. It's the Jets. BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. More on the Jets when we come back. Our transportation, water, and energy infrastructure is critical. But did you know that those projects are built by the local 825 operating engineers and their contractors? They even built MetLife Stadium and the stadium before that. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
The home of the NFL on Westwood One is WFAN.
Cuts it up along the numbers and waltzes into the end zone.
The Bears take on the Commanders. 8:20 tonight.
It is right down the middle and good.
Monday Night Football is on the Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
At Town Fair Tire, New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer, you get it all. The guaranteed lowest price, the most free services, and we accept all valid rebates from any manufacturer and from our competition. Yes, we accept them all, even competitor rebates. Town Fair Tire, New England's largest discount tire dealer. Now with over 120 stores from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions, participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx. As a kid, he made some mistakes, but right out of high school, he joins the Army. Picks up skills, does construction and HVAC his whole life. Paul Rivera's a guy who can say,
I love my life. I've done everything right. So, where's the rub?
He gets pulmonary fibrosis, and the only hope is a lung transplant. Poor guy's close to curtains. When out of the blue, one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, hears about his case and takes it on. Not only does our friend get a new lung, he gets a whole new life. Right. He keeps getting stronger. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
they give that guy a new lung or a new motor.
The story, Mr. Giamatti. Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera. You lived it.
Everyone loves a comeback. Montefiore Einstein, national leader in transplant.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Football Mondays on The Fan are sponsored by Oxford Health Plans from United Healthcare. Time to pick a health plan for your business. Visit uhc.com/Oxford today.
Tell Siri to dial the Fan. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
BT and Sal back on the Fan. 888-808-1019, the number to call. Another lost Sunday for the New York Jets as they will lick their wounds, come home, or they're home now, and get ready to take on the Panthers on Sunday. We at least have one football game to look forward to Sunday, although I do think this could be maybe a week, BT, where we get the Jets on the board here, and maybe the Giants can put together back-to-back wins. The Giants will be taking on the Broncos, and you get a nice one. Jets are at 1, and the Giants are at 4, right? So you get a nice 1.
Yeah.
We haven't had that in a while, 1 into 4.
There you go.
Back-to-back. If it's not enough watching them individually, now you get back-to-back the Jets into the Giants. So that should be a fun Sunday.
Listen, I can't wait to watch Dart, and Scatterboo, obviously. But the Dart story just makes it fun for Giant fans. I wish I had something like that to look forward to. It's a totally different energy and different hope. So that's one aspect. And the thing that I said to Sal the other day, too, and we have all week to get into the Broncos and the Giants here. But It's going to help Denver getting home here, but they elected not to take their bye after the London trip. So, the Giants, having played on Thursday night, get a couple extra days off.
Is that big of a deal? How long is the flight?
Well, from Denver to London, I believe, is 9 hours because from New York to London's about 6.
Is it 6?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
5.5, something like that.
Then that is a
Got
pretty
attack
significant.
on, across the country now. So, plus the Giants played Thursday and the Broncos played yesterday. It's like a little mini bye. And Giants should be feeling good about themselves. I'm looking forward to it.
And look, with the NFL, who the hell knows? I mean, 1 week to the next, you look at these teams here around the league, and we do it with the power rankings when we power up every Thursday. It seems to be changing week to week. So anything could happen on any given week, but I still think Denver is just a different level team than the Giants. You can say, well, what about the Eagles? Yeah, I get it, but the Eagles to me were ripe for the picking. It was just the right spot. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos put it together on Sunday and look like the team I thought that they were, because now the popular sentiment's going to be, well, the Giants just beat the Eagles. They're extra rested. To your point, the Broncos didn't take a bye after the London game. Broncos didn't look good at all against the Jets for the majority of the game. And now it's going to be, well, they're beatable. But I just think this is a tough. Now, again, it's Monday. We'll see how the week unfolds here. But to me, that's a tough spot going into Denver trying to get a win with a rookie quarterback, no less.
My only concern with Denver, and I guess it applies a little bit here against the Giants this week, but just like big picture, like when I look at where they stack up in the AFC, and obviously, even though they don't have a perfect record, the Bills are really good, and the Ravens are done without Lamar. We know the good teams here. I think the Chargers are really good, but they're not dominant. So there's a window for some of these teams to pop through, including Denver. I don't know if Denver has to score a lot of points. Could they? I think they're a little pop gunnish on that offense. They got some good. Cortland Sutton's good. They got good players. Can Bo Nix airmail it out if he's in a shootout against a big time prolific offense?
Well,
I don't know about that.
I think that would be the one thing that's holding them back from truly being elite. Like, could Bo Nix go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow? Well, who can? I mean, outside of those guys doing it against themselves, like, could Daniel Jones? I think we're going to find out. I mean, we might find out eventually, but I still think Denver's defense is going to carry them. Plus, I do like their weapons on offense and an offensive-minded head coach. But we'll see. Either way, it's going to be a fun matchup to see if Dart and the Giants can follow up off of what they did successfully on Thursday night. Chris is calling from Monmouth County on this Columbus Day. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Chris?
Happy Columbus Day. So I want to get on about the Jets. But before we do that, what is the secret ingredient in everyone's tomato sauce?
I put a little sugar myself.
I don't know.
And a little red wine.
I'd have to ask my mom.
You with us, Chris?
Anchovies. Anchovies. I don't know. I don't know how many people you have listening. I've just given it away. It's
anchovies.
No way.
Take it back, dude.
Why? Come on,
I
Chris.
can't stand anchovies.
You're Italian, Chris?
Let me just explain something. You put them. You get the oil going, but you put them in. You don't fry them. You let them dissolve.
I'm not feeling that at all. I can't stand anchovies. Pizza, nothing.
Have you ever tried anchovy? I've never even had it.
I mean, like a nibble to know it's not like squigili or galamad, which I love. No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You all right. So right off the bat, we're on the wrong foot. But nevertheless, I'm calling about the Jets, and you guys really put it eloquently about Woody wanting to, steal the show and somehow save the day. We've solved for everything else. We've replaced our coaches. We've replaced our quarterbacks. At some point, it's the owner. I mean, Justin Fields, he's I'm sure he's a nice guy, but when he throws the football, it looks like he's throwing a 30-pound, sack of rice.
Yeah, he can't throw the football.
Throw.
Right.
So everyone knows he can't throw it long, so we're just going to play him like that.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Let me ask you guys a question. If we had to, I've called like 3 years ago, and I said the NFL should have an eminent domain rule. We should have an eminent domain rule where when an owner displays such a level of incompetence, we should be able to take the team from him and give him to another owner.
Nah, you can't do that. I mean, you got to commit a crime before you get your team taken away, or a scandal.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say is that we can all pick apart Woody and what we think the flaws are, and there certainly are plenty of flaws. I don't think it's a lack of effort. He went all in to get Aaron Rodgers when everybody was begging for that. It didn't work. Is it his fault that Rodgers goes down the first play of the game? Sometimes, that's just bad luck. Now, you could say that he could have paired him with a better head coach. You could say that the Jets shouldn't have been in that spot to begin with, having to go get a 40-year-old quarterback. Sure, all those things are true. But a lot of Jet fans love Joe Douglas. A lot of Jet fans love the Aaron Rodgers thing. A lot of Jet fans love Darren Glenn. It's so, we can't just pick on Woody, where if he's making all these moves that Jet fans were all on board with. So I know that he's been a part of the problem, and I do think the Jets' structure is clearly broken, and there has been something broken for years. But I don't think it's just Woody's just not a good owner. I don't think that that's the ultimate answer either.
Well, I think that there's different types of owners that, listen, take bad owners, put them all in one big pile. Now, some are bad because they don't spend, like Sterling back in the day with the Clippers. Some are bad because they... or maybe a little bit too volatile. Maybe take George Steinbrenner at his absolute worst, just a complete lunatic at his absolute worst when he was banned from baseball. The thing about Woody is that he did build a beautiful facility for his team. He does spend money. It's not that. It's just I just don't think he knows. I don't think that they have a good football infrastructure. I think anytime inside the building, I think too many times the Jets were leaning on somebody, whether it's Charlie Casserly or Peyton Manning. They have very few people in their own building that can formulate their own intelligent opinion and make a decision independent of what others think. So they're always leaning on other people.
Right. Woody should hire the right people in the highest of places and get out of the way. To me, that would be the biggest critique of him. Back to the anchovies thing. Anchovies are to sauce.
Nasty.
What the Jets are to football. The Jets are the anchovies of the NFL. Hop, have you ever had anchovies before?
I think I've eaten everything before in my life, so I'm pretty sure I've had them. I'm not interested.
Yeah, you've had it or no?
Just to say that I've tried. No, I can't stand it. Think about all the possibilities you could put on pizza. Extra cheese. Pepperoni, meatballs, sausage. Even pineapples and that stupid stuff that some of these weirdos put on their pizza. You couldn't pay me to eat anchovy pizza. It's absolutely repulsive.
This certainly could have been a day we could have used Dove here. He's off today, but doesn't Dove like anchovies?
I think he likes all type of fish.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure he used to eat the anchovies, but I'm not 100% sure right out of the can. I just have never, even just Googling it right now, pulling up a picture of it.
Yeah, not a fan.
I will say that my wife's family, they make these salads for every holiday. They have one plain regular salad, which is great. They also do one with the La Leche.
They do
what? La Leche.
I don't even know what that is.
Anchovies.
Yeah, that probably has some roasted red peppers in it too, because I've seen that on some of the families for us too. I don't touch it, man.
But you don't do the anchovies on Christmas Eve.
No. Like as one of the seven fishes.
Or whatever.
No,
yeah.
God,
I don't know. I'm learning. I don't even know it's an Italian thing. I never, not once growing up, I don't even think I've seen anchovies on a table.
My father-in-law loves them. I just can't get behind it. I think they're absolutely gross.
Yeah. All right. Andrew's calling from Bay Ridge. What's up, Andrew?
Drew.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
So quick on the Jets before I get to Alonzo. I think it's almost insulting to call it high school level. I know high school coaches that know X's and O's and that would never make some of these cardinal mistakes. So it was just really tough to watch. As far as Alonzo goes, he's a DH. That's it. He's a terrible first baseman. I'm sorry. And I'm a Mets fan, and I was for Pete for a long time, but he, don't forget, he got Senga hurt. Every time he throws the ball is a hold your breath moment. Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to be out of position and get split into. He's dangerous at first, to be honest. So I'm okay with him being a DH, but we need a smooth first baseman, and he is not it.
He's a liability. He's a liability at first, and thank you for the call, Andrew. We know that. We've been saying this for years. I've been saying it for years. I've been fighting with Evan about this for years. You and I talk about it. Pete Alonso is a DH. Now, Pete may not want to hear that, but that's the reality. And I don't run the team, but if I did, I would be saying, Pete, we want you back. I value what you bring, your personality, your intangibles, your power, your prestigious offense behind Juan Soto. I need you to be the DH at least half the time for now, for this year. So I'd be willing to give whatever the market says, 5-6 years max, around $30 million a year. I'm in the 150 max, 170 category. That's just me. But it would be under the stipulation that he's got to be the part-time DH. And now you upgrade DH because the Mets haven't had one. And you could upgrade first base because you'd be getting somebody who I would look for the exact opposite of Alonso. Somebody's going to hit for a higher average, play excellent defense. Exactly right. That's exactly right.
I mean, who's out there, Huff? I don't know if this is coming up on the Rico, but what defensive first basemen are even out there?
They have the kid in the minors, Clifford, who people are saying could be that potentially.
Yeah, there's also the possibility that you put Vientos at first base.
No. He's not the opposite. First of all, he's not good defensively. Second of all, he's a righty bat. No, he's not. He is a DH too.
What about Goldschmidt for a year? I'm being serious.
No.
Like if Pete says, you know what?
I want a lefty.
You want a lefty? All right. I mean, I get it. I get it. Listen, he's not going to hit much for you. I mean, he signed $12.5 million last year for the Yankees. If Goldschmidt's like, you know what, I want to play one more year. I got a little condo wherever he lives locally if he's not in a hotel. The Mets offer me a 1-year deal for 10.
Put it this way. I don't think it's that important. Like, it would be at the bottom of my to-do list. Once I bring back Pete in this hypothetical and tell him he's going to be the DH, it's not, okay, well, let's go get a first baseman right away. I got other stuff to figure out. But then eventually, like, I'd even be okay if Clifford, and now I don't know anything about him, but by the time let's say Pete starts the year as the first baseman. Yeah. A little DH here or there, but they get somebody else to fill in a little bit. But then Clifford eventually takes over as a part-time first baseman at DH that can be the platoon to Pete and eventually be a guy that you want in the lineup against a tough team that you need some defense in there. I don't know if he's the answer, but it wouldn't be at the top of my to-do list.
So I think people need to stop underrating the importance of first base defense. I mean, we see it with Pete with the Yankees. We see it with the Mets. We see it with Ben Rice with the Yankees. Like, it still matters. Yeah. You don't have to be Donnie or Keith, but you got to be able to have a little fluidity over there.
Can I give you some names? I don't want to do this right now for the rest of the show, but Pete Alonso, then Cody Bellinger, Josh Naylor, Paul Goldschmidt, Max Muncy, Josh Bell, Wilmer Flores, Ryan O'Hearn, Miguel Andujar, Ty France, Dominic Smith, Carlos Santana. You tell me who'd you want at first base.
Bellinger.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I'm going to get Bellinger, I'd have him in the outfield. Plus, he's way too much money. Like, that's what I'm saying. It can't just be, let's bring Pete back and bring in Bellinger. Like, that's
why I'd have to trade Nimmo. That's why I brought that up about 30 minutes ago.
I mean, it's a lot to ask, and nor do I think Bellinger's going to leave the Yankees, nor should he leave the Yankees. I think he's a perfect Yankee. But anyway, I mean, in theory, would he be a guy, if Bellinger was going to sign a 1 or 2 year deal, 100% I'd go after him, but I would want him more for center field, although I guess in this scenario, you could have him play center, and then when Pete DHs, you can move Bellinger to first. The problem is then who's playing center? Like, you need a center fielder as well.
Acuna?
Yeah, I don't know if I do that. I mean, the Mets do have two guys in the minors who were supposed to be ready this year with Clifford and Carson Benj potentially being in center field. And maybe Jet Williams, obviously another one, but he's going to be, let's say second base, something like that. Again, I'm not relying on these rookies, BT. I can't trust them, but they are going to have to be some part of the plan because it can't just be going out and getting the free agents. You just heard that list of the free agents.
That's not appealing.
Honestly, Dom Smith would be the one that's appealing because I remember he was a good defensive first baseman. You want Dom Smith back here? Is that going to be the answer? Like a cheap lefty bat that plays good defense at first base? Like, that's
the profile.
Yeah.
That's the, but I think back in the day there was more guys like that, like the Lyle Overbays or just, I don't know.
Right, exactly. Go get a lefty first baseman that's not going to hit but could play good defense. Maybe it's in part because they don't teach good defense anymore because most teams don't think it matters. It's all about launch angle and hitting home runs, and it doesn't really matter.
I think the position's kind of morphed back into heavy-footed, stone hands. Not that Pete has stone hands, but you just have to upgrade it. There's no doubt. 888 in terms of defense. Keep Pete with the stick, but you got to get some leather. 888-808-1019. BT and Sal on the Fan. Hey, stop dealing with your neck pain, backache, sciatica. Sciatica is the absolute worst. Go to Dr. Jay Shah at Samwell Institute for Pain Management, a migraine and nerve pain specialist who gets you right back to feeling yourself again with minimally invasive and non-surgical treatments. Thousands of 5-star reviews who trust Dr. J for pain-relieving solutions. Same-day and next-day appointments available with offices in Colonia, Livingston, and also Inglewood, New Jersey. Turn to Samwell Pain for effective pain-relieving solutions. All you got to do is visit SamwellPain.com.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Curt Cignetti didn't just rebuild Indiana, he flipped the whole script. The Hoosiers walked into Oregon and punched out the number 3 team in the country, out-physicaled them, and left with the program's first ever top 5 road win. Indiana's now 6-0, a legit Big Ten force, and Cignetti's portal magic is a masterclass. No more underdog stories here. Indiana's a problem, and Cignetti's the reason why. I'm Maggie Gray.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at Depend.com.
4 distinct all-electric Cadillacs. Some drive them for performance. Others drive them for the range. And some drive them because it's the only way to make an entrance. 3 different ways to turn every drive into an occasion. Whatever your reason, there's never been a better time to say, let's take the Cadillac. The all-electric Cadillac family of vehicles. Escalade IQ, Vistic, Optic, and Lyric. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today.
Viant, innovating digital advertising. Didn't think you could advertise on the largest sport platforms? Think again. Viant helps brands show up where it counts, on live sports, where audiences are the most engaged. It's simple, smart, and built for results you can actually measure. No wasted time, no wasted spend. Viant. Visit ViantCTV.com and get your message in front of the right audience today.
Athletes know performance starts in the gut. At Terra Origin, we fuse ancient Ayurvedic wisdom with modern science to fuel recovery, resilience, and real results. Our most popular gut health formulas are packed with probiotics, prebiotics, and time-tested herbs, supporting digestion, immunity, and endurance from the inside out. Because your gut powers more than your workout. It powers you. Terra Origin. Ancient roots, athletic results. Shop now at TerraOrigin.com.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Hodge from TakingVegas.com, and each and every day you can text the word WIN to the number 545454. Again, text the word WIN to the number 545454 and get our best bet of the night every single night for free. You can also visit TakingVegas.com. 10 great handicappers there, but tonight we have a free best bet. It's yours. Text the word WIN to the number 545454.
You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday this season, all the way through the AFC Championship game. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Football season is Modelo season. If you're listening to this, it means you live and breathe Giants football, and you know what that makes you? A full-time fan, which means you deserve a Modelo. Reward your fandom with an ice-cold Modelo, an official cerveza of the New York Giants. Please drink responsibly.
Nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal, and I mean nobody. So if you're looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price, get to Town Fair today. Michelin winter tires offer a shorter stopping distance on ice and snow, along with predictable handling in cold, dry, and wet wintry conditions. For the guaranteed lowest price and free services for life on Michelin tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire, and I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off. Because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your
Get
money
the
back.
scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Peace, 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 peace. Pow, pow.
BT and Sal back on the Fan, 888-808-1019, the number to call before we get back to the calls on the Jets or Pete Alonso. You wanted to mention something here about your Johnnies? What do you got, BT?
Well, I mean, listen, they're kind of your Johnnies at this point, I would hope. I mean,
our Johnnies, that's right.
I don't know if I go as far as say our Johnnies, but you got a little piece of the Johnnies. You came to a game last year, and, come on.
We're not the ones hanging out with Coach Pitino.
Oh, yeah, no.
The way that some others are around here.
I went in to say hi to Boomer and Gio today. I haven't really seen them in a while, and I was actually just ranting about the Jets here. The first thing I hear, dude, we played with Patino, before I even got into the Jets
How was it? I didn't hear them talk about it. What'd they say?
They didn't talk about it? That's stunning.
I don't know if they did. I might not have heard it.
They said it was awesome.
Yeah.
They said Rick was great. I guess Gio played pretty well. I don't know who won the match, but Greg said that, Greg's fairly new to the game. And that is a hellacious course. I mean, the greens are crazy.
Patino better
he broke
than
100.
Who did?
Gio.
Okay,
pretty good there.
Is Patino better than Boomer?
No. I mean, I think Boomer smashes the ball probably much further. But they said, Boomer said that when Rick hits it, it's pretty straight. Knows his course, obviously, because he lives on wing foot. Anyway,
kind of like Mike. So I'll probably take me and Mike could take down Patino and whoever.
You and Mike versus Patino and Gio?
Yeah.
Well, really what it comes down to is you versus Gio. I don't know. I mean, Francesa, when he's not hitting me and almost killing me, his ball is straight.
Stop it.
And I think that Rick is straight. So can you beat Gio? I mean, he broke 100.
I have to play more than twice in the last 2 years.
I hear it.
All right, go ahead.
So St. John's, right? They just came out with the AP Top 25, right? And I knew that they'd be really, really high. Where do you think they're ranked going into the year?
I'm going to guess number 4.
Number 5.
Okay. Fair
Number
enough.
5.
Who's in front of them?
I don't have that in front of me. I think I would imagine UConn maybe.
Because I thought you said they could be. I'm just going based off of
I thought they could be 2.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a little surprised. I thought they might be a little bit higher, but they've got so many new players that maybe you want to give them time to gel. UConn's probably a slot higher. They're absolutely stacked up there in stores. But the crazy thing about this,
you have the schedule, by the way.
I got it. Yeah, you got it.
UConn St. John's. When's the first meeting with those two?
There's one, I believe. I thought they really messed up with this because one of the games is a Wednesday night. One is Saturday.
At the Garden?
The Wednesday night game, I believe, is up in stores. Hang on, let me pause. So St. John's is playing Kentucky this year. They're playing Alabama this year. They got some really good non-conference slate.
What's like their best home games?
The best home games, let me just pull the whole thing up here for you. All right, so they've got, the season opens November 3rd. It's a couple of weeks away. They've got Alabama, who's a top 15 team. That's Saturday, November 8th at the Garden. Then they've got, I'm thinking of Baylor, who's good, but that's in Vegas. Yeah, I hear you. They're good, though. Then you've got Kentucky down in Georgia.
Okay, that's there.
That's on CBS. That's a national game. At the Garden, it's obviously going to be UConn. Nobody else. They're not playing Duke this year. And, Villanova is going to be fun, although Villanova is not nearly as good as UConn. So the Huskies game is... One is Friday, February 6th. That's 8 p.m. That's at the Garden. That's amazing. Okay. But the other one, and I want to make sure that it's up there, if I have that right. Yeah, it's got to be a little later in the season. Yeah, the second UConn St. John's game is on a Wednesday night.
And that's there?
In February.
Up there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Talk about missing a chance to really... listen.
So the only game
there's not that many high-profile teams in the Big East. It's UConn at St. John's, the Pole Stings.
So the marquee game on the schedule, that's it, is hosting UConn. I know there are going to be some other, in-conference games, but that's it?
No. Again, I think you're underselling Kentucky. You're playing Kentucky.
I thought you said St. Georgia.
Yeah, it is.
I'm talking about
just
here.
The Garden.
Yeah. You don't want to go to.
Yeah. Oh, you want? I got you.
Well, for the French
Alabama's good.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't have the juice, the out-of-conference, but Alabama's a legitimate program. The crazy thing about this ranking, and St. John's is just beyond loaded, and you got Rick pressing the button, so they're going to be amazing this year. Who knows if they get to the Final Four? They've got a real chance to do it. The crazy thing is they're ranked number 5 to start the season. I thought for sure, and I had to double-check this, I thought for sure that the 84-85 team with Mullen, the Final Four team, would have been rated higher than. No, they started that year at number 7. No, even going back to like Lapchick.
So this is the highest ranked
in the
St. John's
program's
team?
history, the highest.
That gets me excited.
Yeah.
All right, BT and Sal on the Fan. We'll come back, get back to your calls here on the Jets, 888-808-1019. Also the Alonzo stuff. Plenty to do as far as the offseason goes as we further, the show into the offseason. But today, mostly a Jets day, and obviously the Alonzo stuff off of the news that he is expecting a 7-year contract this offseason.
It's Keith McPherson at night on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
The Giants won the draft, and I said that on draft night. Getting Abdul Carter, trading back up to get Jackson Dart, who they specifically wanted. And obviously you've got the ties with Ole Miss and Eli, and he wanted to be here as well.
Listen to Keith McPherson on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Just printed from the Erie Canal Press, the most coveted ticket, New York Lottery's $1 million raffle hath arrived. 15 fortunate souls shall come into the fortune of a millionaire.
Translation, the $1 million raffle is here, and 15 winners are going to become millionaires. The New York Lottery commemorates 200 years of the Erie Canal with your best odds of winning $1 million. Limited tickets available. Ask your local retailer today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find excellence in every detail in a new Volvo. From Volvo Cars Ramsey. Now find excellent offers with your first lease payment waived. Lease a new 2025 Volvo XC60 B5 Plus all-wheel drive, $497 per month for 36 months at Volvo Cars Ramsey, where it's all about you. Call 833-853-2975 for lease details. MSRP $55,540. VIN S1015920. Loaner vehicle 5,193 miles, $3,700 down payment, tax title registration extra, 0 security deposit, ends 10/31/25.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium hot or iced coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions. Participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person with whom you made the deal. Additional terms apply.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you...
Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Sitting in the driver's seat of the Nissan Kicks is like the best seat in the house. You're in the action. And with the Nissan Kicks all-wheel drive, you can go find the best views. And with the 10-speaker Bose Personal Plus audio system, you can hear everything. Your new wheels await. Reimagine your ride with the reimagined Nissan Kicks. Now get the 2025 Nissan Kicks starting at just $21,830. Shop your local Nissan store or nissanusa.com. Starting MSRP at $21,830 for base model. All prices are manufacturer suggested retail price. MSRP. MSRP excludes up to $1,495 destination and handling charges, tax, title, and license. Dealer sets actual price.
I'm Bob Burke,
founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Wake up with Boomer and Geo. Mornings 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon at 1 o'clock. I'm Justin Rock. This is sponsored by Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold and Ray Cattina Lexus of Monmouth. Adventure meets luxury in the new Lexus GX from Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold and Ray Cattina Lexus of Monmouth. With bold design and spacious comfort, it's ready to take you anywhere. Discover your new GX at Ray Cattina Lexus. A trip across the pond did not produce the desired result for Gangrene. The Jets unable to pick up win number 1, falling to the Broncos in London 13-11 on Sunday. Aaron Glenn frustrated with reporters post-game after being asked if he considered benching QB Justin Fields. This after the team netted -10 passing yards. The head coach admitted today Fields' performance wasn't good enough.
We have to get better than that, and he knows that, and he knows that better than anyone, so I don't think you just try to bench a player after having one true bad game, because I thought the other games he played fairly well.
Monday Night Football, Westwood One's coverage of the Commanders and Bears on the Fan at 7:30. On the ice today, Islanders, Jets from the island. Puck drop momentarily. Devils and Blue Jackets at 7. NBA preseason, Knicks and Wizards from the Garden. Tip-off at 7:30. An AP preseason top 25 in men's college hoops. Released today, Purdue at number 1. St. John's will start the year at number 5. Fan weather is sponsored by Approved Oil. Visit freeztherate.com. Approved Oil has been the leading heating oil dealer in New York for over 90 years. With today's low rates, now's the time to lock in for this upcoming winter before the cold weather drives prices up. Lock in a low rate and enjoy a worry-free winter with Approved Oil. Visit freeztherate.com. It's 59 degrees and raining in Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Justin Rock.
New York sports is more than a game. It's a lifestyle. WFAN is the only place where Yankees, Mets, Giants, and Jets fans come together and sound off. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
The BT and Sal Show on the Fan is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants. I don't know if you had a chance to watch this yet, but I'm going to ask you now, BT. Have you seen the Saquon Barkley documentary?
I haven't, and I really want to.
Okay, I was going to say, so you do have interest in seeing
100%, yeah.
Now, the one thing I would say, I did watch it. I actually watched it with my wife, because naturally what happens is we go to watch a show, like always, and I'm like, come on, I really don't want to watch that. But then we end up watching it, and she falls asleep 5 minutes in, and then I'm watching whatever I want anyway. So then I went to the Saquon Barkley doc, and she woke up halfway in it and then started to watch it as well. So it was actually fun for us to watch it. You and I, and everybody, that pays attention to the sports stuff, we know exactly what's going on and how it's going to play out. Somebody like my wife is like, oh, what happened? Was it good with the Eagles? How far did they go? Did they go to the Super Bowl? So it's fun to watch along.
I don't know. You got to find out, honey. The game's next week.
As I was saying, watch out. You could watch the rest of it in the documentary. That was kind of the hook. So knowing what was coming, I guess it was a little less exciting. But I do think it takes you behind the scenes as to the person, what he was really thinking and the emotions that he was feeling. And I do think that, I have a better understanding for him, and I do think that he was getting screwed over and just felt disrespected, if not by the Giants, which was certainly a part of it, by the way the NFL was working, and he felt frustrated like he was out of control, whereas he's the best back in the league, but they don't want to pay him like that, but they say that they want to keep him, but they can't let him test free agency, so then they franchise tag him. Like, he had no control of his own situation, and it was immensely frustrating, and I can understand him wanting to be shown a little bit more respect and appreciation, and what a gratifying end to that whole story, going his first year with Philadelphia and winning the Super Bowl.
He really has been a victim of bad timing up until now. Like, think about when he went second overall, and that was obviously overdrafting him. But the running back position has been altered in terms. Now it's coming back a little bit more favorably than it was.
It was starting the last couple of years or so, right? Or
no
was it last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, but there was at least a 10-year run where there was a diminishment in terms of salaries and at least perceived importance. So that was one aspect. And the other thing was the Giants teams that he was on were terrible. So I don't know. I think he's one of the great people that we've had a chance to watch. I think he's got just a great charisma, a great heart. I think he's very grounded. I think he was amazing to watch. Yeah, he also had some injuries, obviously. But did you get the sense that I know that you said you felt like he was disrespected, but some things that I've heard from people was that they got the sense that he wanted to lead the Giants and Philly was always on his radar. Is that apparent in this thing or no?
Yes, but not because he was just like, oh, screw the Giants. It was because he never felt the true appreciation. Like he said, and I do believe him, it wasn't even about the most money. Like it got to a point where, yeah, he's going to want more money, but he just wanted them to treat him fairly.
Yep.
And they kept saying, we love you, we value you. Mara said flat out, I'm not going to trade you. You're too valuable to the organization. He said, well, then fine, pay me. And instead they go out there and extend Daniel Jones and give him what he wants and then slap the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley, which is just not right. So I know that that's the way of the league, but I think a little more appreciation. He also felt like they were running them in the ground. You know, all the carry, you're using me for all this, but yet you're not going to pay me. I think a little more appreciation, less about the money and more about the appreciation would have gone a longer way in keeping Saquon Barkley happy. And it got to a point where he was fed up and couldn't wait to have other opportunities. And the Eagles came with a great opportunity. The Giants didn't want to match. And it was a great situation for him to go there and have success, and he did. So,
and then think about some of the things that have happened with the Giants here since he left. So you go back in March, early this year. I mean, Slayton signs a 3-year deal worth, $35, $36 million? Now, not all of it's guaranteed. I think it's like $22 million guaranteed. But I mean, Darius Slayton's not good. And Saquon Barkley, he's one of the superstars of the NFL when he's healthy. He's a transcendent player, and he basically had to beg for money. So
I think Joe Shane didn't, and I'm with, like, to an extent, I'm with you. I would not pay running backs. However, he was more than just a running back. And the owner clearly loved him. And they were playing the game of the salary cap where the running back position was valued. Mm-hmm. And they ran that risk and they let him go, and he was happy as anything. Now, I will say that this year has not been great for Saquon or the Eagles. It's not a knock on him. It's just the offensive line hasn't been good enough. Their offense is not good enough. Last year was almost a perfect storm of, you know, he was there, motivated, extra hungry. They had a good offensive line, better offense, dominated the league, dominated the postseason, won the Super Bowl. This year, it's been the opposite of that. But Saquon got what he wanted, a new opportunity, and had great success, and obviously got his payday as well.
Real fast on this. Think about, and we reference it with baseball quite a bit, the heartbeat of the game when we talk about analytics, right? Don't you think this is a pretty good example of how, and this is, you know, not to just, you know, throw some shade towards Joe Shane here, but Joe's a first-time youngish general manager who's much more married to, you know, hardcore numbers and already established what positions have X amount of worth. If there was a general manager who, not that it's always about age, but had been on the job longer, don't you think he would have just handled this differently?
I don't know, because a part of me says that he handled it in the right way, even with the result being what it was. The Giants were not in a spot where they could be giving big-time money. Now, he also paid Daniel Jones, which was a mistake. You could reference Slayton.
And Slayton.
Other mistakes there. So, but I can't fundamentally go against what I believe, and that is not to pay a running back big-time money. So Joe Shane it's a very difficult decision. I actually give him more credit for making a difficult decision, knowing how much the owner valued him, knowing how much Saquon meant. You could hear Joe Shane basically saying, like, Saquon, I don't think your value is as good as what you think it may be. Like, because Saquon will say, well, then why not just trade me? Just trade me. And he's like, yeah, but like, I don't think we're getting anything back if we were to trade you. And I think Joe Schoen was right in that regard. Now, I love Saquon. I love him the person. I love him as the running back. But I also think that Joe Schoen made the right move for the Giants.
He might have, especially when you have somebody like Scatterbo. Not that he's ever going to be Saquon, but at least this new wave of energy around the Giants would support what you just said. But what was the difference in what Saquon was asking and what the 10-1?
Yeah, not much.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If Saquon came and was like, I want $16 million a year, and Joe's like, you're worth 9.5 for 10, well, it's untenable. There's nothing to talk about. You got to go. But we're gonna quibble over $1 million?
Yeah, and
then give 22 guaranteed to Slayton?
And to Saquon's point, and he said this, it wasn't even about the $1 million.
That's respect.
Yes.
No, I get it.
Which he's earned.
I get it.
Like, that's the thing that bothered me from the Joe Schoen point of view. Like, it's not about the money, but show the guy some freaking appreciation and some love. Like, that whole thing. Remember, we were dealing with this in real time, and we actually might have even been on the air during it. I forget what happened, but in real time on the franchise tag deadline day, they came to an agreement with Daniel Jones minutes before the franchise tag. Saquon, you could see him sitting there waiting by his phone all day. And then with 3 minutes to go, whatever it was, he gets a text from Daniel Jones saying, I just signed. And then he's like, well, now I know I'm not going to get signed. And he got slapped with the franchise tag. So even the way that was handled was just putting Saquon on the back burner and prioritizing other things. So those things damage the relationship more than whatever financial offer, whether it's $1 million or $2 million more.
Yeah.
It was the other stuff.
But that's why he's a high character person.
Right.
I mean, he stood by his convictions and he was ultimately proven right, which you got to respect here, especially when you go and do what he did a year ago, win the Super Bowl, and now you're all over every commercial. All right, so the initial offer was 3 years, approximately $12.5 million per season. And as we recall, that was rejected during the bye week. That came out shortly thereafter. Then there was a slight increase with the second offer, which went from 12.5 up to 13, which could have reached 14 with incentives. Now, this was rejected because there was a lower amount of guarantee to what Barkley was looking for. Then there was the third offer, which went up to, which stayed at 13, 26 over the first two, and was extended before the first franchise tag deadline, which Barkley obviously turned down. And he was looking to get basically the neighborhood of Christian McCaffrey, who I think was right around 15 change, whatever it was. I mean,
he kept saying, I'm the best back in the league. I believe you got to pay me like that.
Yeah.
Like he kept, but I do think it was more about the respect and less about the money of the whole thing. And how about the fact that they would let it go right down to the wire, but pay Daniel Jones?
I know.
And not Barkley, who was a bigger reason, first of all, as big a reason, if not a bigger reason, than Daniel Jones was for the prior success that they had.
You think Saquon got tired of losing too? I mean, come on,
I think
man.
all of it. I think he got tired of being run into the ground, tired of losing. I think all those things. He also was going to hold out and then said he talked to his former college coach, James Franklin,
who just got fired.
Got fired, and basically said the Saquon that I know would go out there, play his ass off, and let that do the talk. Something along those lines, which led Saquon to make the decision to go out there and play. Remember, we were debating this in real time.
This is when I knew the kid was special. Obviously, you watch him play at Penn State, you're like, wow. I mean, he's different. It's a different electricity when he's got the ball. And we had him on the old show nationally, Tiki and I, and he was actually sitting in a stairwell. I'll never forget this, on the campus of Penn State. And our old producer patched him through, and like it was a little echoey. And so we're like, hey, where are you? In your dorm room? He's like, no, I'm actually sitting in the stairwell. I've got chemistry or advanced whatever he had coming up. And he still, fulfilled the commitment of calling us up. And we did about a 12 or 13-minute chat with him at some stairwell in some building on Penn State's campus. That's Saquon for you.
You just reminded me, there is a clip of you and TK, I think it was during the pandemic, where it wasn't with him, but you guys were talking about him.
Okay.
And you were like, what's he doing? He's dancing so much. He's dancing so much.
Was I saying that?
Something like that. Yeah, taking a shot at BT.
Instead of going to the hole, hey, I'm an old coach. Yeah, right.
BT and Sal, the fan, 888-808-1009, the number to call. Back to the Jet stuff. Aaron is calling from East Meadow. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, guys. How you doing? I think this is my first time calling this show. I'm really appreciating you guys putting me on. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks for making it. Thank you.
Yes. No problem. I mean, it's not with good news to talk about this, because I think I've talked about this so much to my family, to my friends, that they might as well call me like a psych ward patient. What is the definition of insanity, guys?
Yeah, we know. We've heard it a million times. Keep doing the same thing over and over, expect a different result. Yep.
But this is the thing, and, I like conspiracy theories. Do you guys like conspiracy theories? Do you go on the internet and look them up?
Yeah. I'm not a big. I'm not big into that
don't.
myself. I don't.
It's a
I'm
waste
not
of time. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you got one for us?
Well, yeah, I do. I really, really do. Because I've been watching this team since about 1998, and I have seen not necessarily the same story play out all the time, but pretty similar. And if I look at the history of this team as I go back from 1998 and then back forward from 1998, I see the same things.
Such as?
Same promises, same bill of goods.
But how's that a conspiracy? How's that a conspiracy? I'm lost. How's that a conspiracy? It's just stupidity is what it is.
Oh, okay. What is the
fair
conspiracy?
Enough. Fair enough. So I'm going to use a specific a time here. After we lost Parcells and after those coaching switches happened, I think New England, going on the run that they did, caused this guy to maybe want to meddle more than he should. And I think that we're seeing it in every single generation of coach that comes in here, that they start out boisterous, start out new bill of goods, new everything, and slowly, it creeps back to this. But now it's worse because there was success in the middle of that had nothing to do with that coaching switch. But why would you meddle and get rid of guys who gave you consistent success? The only consistent success that I've seen in my life.
Like, who are you talking about? Herm? What area are we talking about? Just to be clear.
Rex.
Yeah.
Rex.
Mangini.
And Rex.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, Aaron, and thank you for the call. Mangini built the team that Rex took over and had some success with. Jet fans like to hang on the fact that it was Rex because they liked his personality. I ain't kissing anybody's rings. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then they get to back-to-back AFC championship games. Instead of looking at the how, they look at the result, which is a flawed process. It's not always about the result. How that happened was that Eric Mangini built that team. Him and Tannenbaum built that team into what it became under Rex Ryan. And had they stuck through the storm with Mangini, I firmly believe. Now, again, not that Mangini was perfect. Also, first-time head coaching learning curves and all this stuff. But had they stuck through that storm with Mangini, I believe they would have been rewarded in having who I believe to be a very good football coach. Personality, no. Thought he was Belichick, whatever. But as far as being a football coach and knowing what it takes to build a football team, Mangini's the one guy who's done it here in the last 20 years or whatever it's been.
Who were you and I talking to where they said the same thing? Was it a guest? Was it off the air? Was it away from the station? Somebody said the same.
No, we did have the conversation on the air. Now, you know I've always felt that way about Mangini.
Yeah, you have said that.
Somebody
now,
did.
he also stumbled in other places.
Could it have been Becht?
No, it wasn't Becht. Wasn't it an in-studio guest?
Richardson? Was it Tony Richardson?
Yes, it was Tony Richardson.
Okay. I know we had him in not too long ago.
I think we talked about that more off the air. But here's the one difference. And,
right. Maybe
right? Remember that?
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference is if you go back, right, just to play the game of going back, Bill Parcells obviously was phenomenal. Then Al Groh comes in for 1 year. They start out 4-0 or 5-0, but they peter out, but they still
finished 9-7. And that was the right transition. Parcells to Groh, like you really had no choice.
Well, it's supposed to be Parcells to Belichick. We know what happened. Right. Al Groh was a trusted lieutenant, stay in the building, boom, and then he bounced. He went to college, Al Groh, you remember, after a year. Yeah, but he had at least a stabilizing 9-7 season. Then Herm came in, and listen, Herm wasn't perfect, but there was a lot of good, meaningful football that we got to watch under Herm. And then Mangini was basically a 500 coach, and again, there was some evidence that, okay, we got the right guy, and then obviously Rex Ryan did two really good things. The difference that, like, think about the stability. Parcells amazing, Groh solid, Edwards solid, Mangini solid, Rex really amazing early, then he petered out. Think about what these coaches are trying to undo now. Now let's go backwards from Aaron Glenn. Ulbrich, awful. Saleh, awful. Gase, awful. Bowles here, awful. Not with Tampa. So it is a Herculean task to change the entire mindset, the roster, and just to get this functioning on the most basic level that I don't know why anybody, and I'm guilty of this, why we ever expect one of these first-year guys to come in here and clean up this mess.
Right. It's become even more daunting of a task than it was before. I think it's a great point. Now, the one good thing would be this, and again, not that there's much good in 0-6. What if it were the other way? Whether it were Brian Dable, who had success his first year, and they got to a point where everybody was saying he should be fired. Whether it were Eric Mangini, who was 10-6 his first year, and eventually fell off.
And would have won more if Brett Favre didn't get hurt.
Correct.
That was a good team.
So it's not necessarily how you start does not indicate how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a path here where this is as bad as it gets. I don't know that to be the case. I'm just saying that we could be seeing the lumps here early on, first year, okay, whatever they finish with, 3 wins, whatever it may be. After that, maybe you start to see it build the right way moving forward, as opposed to the first-year aberration of success. Wow, you won 10 games. Here we go. Throw Todd Bowles in there, whatever you want. There have been coaches who've had the first-year success with prior regimes' teams and couldn't build it in a sustainable fashion, whereas maybe this is the time where it doesn't look good at all right now, but if you give them the proper time, Mougey and Glenn can build a sustainable model.
I feel you. I mean, listen, take Mendoza here. Mendoza, what did he win? 87 games in year one? I think it was 87, 88, whatever it was. Maybe even 89. I don't know. High 80s. And obviously the Mets almost got to the World Series. Now, let's say if year one was this year rather than flipped. And let's say that he won in year one, whether it was 83, which the Mets did, or even less than that. So year one, let's just say it was 79 wins. And then this year, it was 83 or 84. Well, now, I don't know if you're necessarily judging Mendoza differently, but you might be because you're like, okay, slow, incremental progress. We got some young pitchers. We got Soto. We got some money. Let's build this thing out. Whereas you were almost in the World Series to not in the playoffs. Now there's a different spotlight on Mendoza to year 3.
Right, and that doesn't mean
because of early success.
It doesn't mean that that's the right way. And that's the point. Maybe the best thing here could be bleeding out for the Jets.
Losing, Aaron.
And letting them, well, no, obviously, you know what I'm saying. Like, have them rebuild this. It takes time.
I know.
Nobody wants to hear it. It does, especially for a general manager and for a first-year head coach. If Aaron Glenn doesn't take significant strides in year 2 on a week-to-week basis, forget about the results. We'll know. If he's doing the same crap that he did yesterday or the stuff that he's done before, like in year 2, then we've got a major problem on our hands. Let's just ride this out.
We're
be
going
a little
to.
patient.
We're going to, and we're going to be fair to Aaron, and we're going to be fair to the situation, which has been absolutely unfathomably bad for all these years. But the thing that really I keep going back to, and again, I'm going to give him some runway to get this thing going here. I do believe in him still, maybe not as much as I did when he was hired, but I definitely still believe in him. When you talk that tough, and then you don't even try to go for points, that's a contradiction that I have a rough time understanding and accepting. That's the thing that bothers me most.
BT and Sal on the Fan, WFAN NFL football powered by Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store today.
I'm Michael Jenkins here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. We're taking the Dodgers on the first 5 money line tonight in Game 1 of the NLCS against the Brewers. Blake Snell is on the mound for the Dodgers. In 2 games this postseason, he's 2-0 with a 1.38 ERA. He's only allowed 2 runs, and both of those runs came in the 7th inning. We have zero fear that the colder weather will bother the Dodgers. We think their offense will heat up quickly, so it's the Dodgers on the first 5 money line. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter, beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, you can chill by the crystal clear Gulf.
And stroll downtown St. Pete's galleries and murals.
And hang with the locals at a fishing pier.
And escape to secluded white sand beaches.
Secluded, huh?
Yeah, and they're spectacular.
And then grab a sandwich at the grouper capital of the world.
And maybe a nightcap at a rooftop bar with sunset views.
Okay, in St. Pete, Clearwater, you'll find just what you're looking for.
And then some.
Your Florida escape begins at visitspc.com.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
When it comes down to finding the lowest price on Michelin winter tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire's guaranteed lowest price. And when it comes to free services, nobody gives you more free services on your Michelin winter tires than Town Fair Tire. So why look for Michelin winter tires anywhere but Town Fair Tire, where you always get the guaranteed best deals? Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Health plans with $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays. You'll get that and more. For 41 years, United Healthcare and their Oxford products have been providing solutions and savings for businesses like yours. Visit uhc.com/Oxford to learn more.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Together, let's drive at Paramus Chevrolet. For just $227 a month and $2,004 due at delivery, lease a brand new Equinox 4D Wagon LT with two-wheel drive for 36 months. Buying? Enjoy 0.0% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. Visit ParamusChevrolet.com today.
Hey everyone, Boomer here. How long have I been talking about the Chef IQ Sense wireless thermometer? You know how much I love it, but check out what one of our listeners says. It's phenomenal. You want to make a brisket, you look at your phone, and your mouth starts watering when you've got 20 minutes left. Phenomenal. The Chef IQ Sense is the wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat. Whether cooking on a stovetop, oven, or grill, the app alerts you when everything's done. Order the newly released third-generation Chef IQ Sense now at chefiq.com.
Total Orthopedics is Long Island's premier orthopedic practice. Whether it's a sports-related injury or something far more complex, Total Ortho has you covered with locations throughout Long Island, Queens, and now West Orange, New Jersey. Don't struggle with pain or injuries and get fast, expert care from the leading orthopedic doctors, including the #1 spine doctor on Long Island. Visit TotalOrthoSportsMed.com and schedule an appointment today. Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experts at getting you back to being you.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
I gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your fit. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Listen weekdays from 1 to 2 on the Fan for the call of the day with BT and Sal, brought to you by Wind Creek Bethlehem. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Put WFAN in your contact list. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
BT and Sal back on the Fan. 888-808-1019. The number to call to get back to the phones here. Eddie in Vernon, New Jersey, calling with something that we talked about earlier. This is a pertinent topic. What's on your mind today, Eddie?
What's happening, guys? I'm glad that you got me back on, but I got a very important message for everybody to get us out of the funeral of the Jets Monday.
Yes, go ahead.
So anyway, three callers ago, we had a guy call in talking about anchovies in the sauce.
Yes.
Not anchovies in the gravy.
Right, he said
anchovies
sauce.
in the sauce.
Correct. That's why I took no issue with that because he properly called it sauce.
And BT didn't push back at all. I know, Sal, you got my back on this, but
What do you mean, pushback? Pushback on what?
Gravy versus sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, listen, if there's meat, to me, it's gravy. But it's, that's what I say.
Like the brajol, you saying?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah, the brajol.
I had brajol too growing up.
This cracks me up.
Brajol growing up was a staple.
Love the
was
brajol.
definitely a staple.
Thanks for the call.
The brajol. How
That
childish
I
are
bet.
we?
No,
Well,
I
what's an anchovy, by the way? Is that
It's
meat?
a fish.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. But
No,
that's not considered meat.
It's not meat. No
Fish.
way.
That's what I was going to say. Like
canned fish.
Yeah, I've never had anchovy. I definitely have had brajol. You get the string in it when you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
I know that people joke
Do you
around.
eat the string? You eat the string?
No, you don't eat it. You pull the string out. By the way, my mother did text on this earlier. She said fresh basil, I guess, is the key for the...
That's hers.
I guess,
Okay.
yeah. I never knew. Okay, thanks, Mom. There
You're
you
not
go.
supposed to read that on air, by the way. That's our secret.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you're
go
not allowed to give these tips on air.
I mean,
You're
I'm
not supposed
sure
to do
others
that.
use fresh basil.
Yeah, I can't believe there's one person in the world who puts a little
I don't
basil
think
in the
it's
sauce with the gravy.
Yeah, groundbreaking there for
I
the
do a little
Wakanda
sugar.
recipe.
I do a little sugar. I do a little red wine.
Sugar?
Yeah.
Not salt.
I do.
Let me ask you a question.
No,
the red wine goes in the sauce, or you just drink the red wine?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm
Did
sorry.
the red wine go in the sauce, or you just drink the red wine?
No, I put a little bit in the sauce
that,
there. And then I drink it while I'm eating the... So I have both, in the plate and in the cup.
So you do, it's like drinking, not like red wine vinegar or anything. You're talking about red wine,
Real
actual
red wine, like a cab or
you
like
put
that.
that in there.
Yeah, put
You
a little
make
bit
the
of that.
sauce, not your wife?
Yeah, I don't make it too often, though.
And does Jen make her own sauce or no?
This is Texas sauce, which, I'll handle the sauce there.
I know.
She does the other stuff. She's actually a pretty good cook, but there's certain things, she's learned how to do Christmas Eve,
Right.
like she's learned, but there's certain things I got to do.
I get it, because I did the same thing. I told my wife, she's like, oh, I used to make lasagna. I'm like, look, no offense, but, you're not Italian.
Yep.
And whatever you think lasagna is probably isn't what I think lasagna is.
But when was the last time you cooked it?
Yeah,
Has it been a while?
I told her, don't even waste your time with sauce.
I'm saying, what about you? Like, have you?
I don't make sauce.
You don't
no.
make anything?
No, my mother and sister make it. My grandmothers used to make it before they passed away, and my mother and my sister make it.
I got it.
And even my sister, I'm not so sure. My mother, I don't even like it's always my mother usually.
I find it oddly therapeutic. Now, again, I don't do it too. I'll start to do it a little bit more like after the middle of November, because then football's over and soccer's over. Sundays will be a little bit more in the house. One thing that I do is too, not so much with the brajol, but with the sausage. Right, what I will do is I will, and I don't know. If this is kind of a shortcut because I don't have 5 hours to do this, but I'll take the sausage, premio, which I love premio sausage, right? And I'll slice one down the middle with a real knife and just a little bit, and then I'll just kind of skewer them in some oil, like maybe before.
Okay.
And I've got the gravy. Well, I've got the sauce, and then eventually it becomes the gravy. But I've got the gravy going, and I've got the sugar. I've got obviously the red wine. But then what I do is after I kind of char the sausage, I will then put them in there and let them cook for like 2 hours. But I'll also take some of the oil from what I just fried up,
dump it in
and
there.
I'll put it in the sauce, and it's a little more authentic.
Now why don't you do this more often? You sound like you know what you're doing.
I do. I definitely know what I'm doing. I don't have the time. There's games. I mean,
you can wake up a little earlier and get the sauce marinating, and
early.
You don't have time.
How many times we just get, what are we doing tonight, hon? Are we ordering sushi? Are we doing Jersey Mike's? I mean, we're walking to the door sometimes. It's 8:30 at night. The kids are 9 or 10. Homework's half done. Showers have to happen. Brush the teeth. Read the book. Do this. Oh, my God.
You'll like this one.
Yes.
My wife yesterday, we went to the supermarket Saturday. Saturday was a long day. We went to pumpkin picking or whatever.
Oh, you did that Saturday?
Yeah, we did do that Saturday, which was fun.
Which farm? Do you remember which one?
Tranquility, maybe?
We haven't been there. Okay, those are fun when they're young.
It was great. My daughter loved it. She loved it, and that's the thing. And then from there, my wife wanted to go to Blue Steel restaurant. Have you ever been?
I have not. I've never even heard of it. Blue Steel, huh?
Freehold. I don't know, whatever it is. I forget the exact town, but Blue Steel restaurant. They have excellent burgers and pizza there, okay?
Huh?
So we make a plan to go. I'm like, you sure you want to go today? It's like an hour or the other direction, whatever. We get there.
Yep.
Street fair. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, I can't stand street fairs.
Now it's a pain in the neck parking, street fair, all right, whatever. We walk through, we're starving, got to go to the bathroom, whatever. It's closed. On a Saturday afternoon. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Why didn't you call? Well, why would you call? What restaurant's not open on this? What time is this?
I know, but now
3 in the afternoon?
Yeah.
4 or 5? Yeah. Wait, so it was opening later or just closed for the day?
It was closed, period.
What the hell kind of restaurant doesn't open on a Saturday?
I guess
Do they want to make a profit?
I guess because of the stupid fare, whatever it may be. So now we have to drive back the other way. We ended up going to another restaurant. But anyway,
You must have been pleasant to ride with the rest of the way.
Yeah, because Saturdays it says 12 to 11 they're open.
Yeah, exactly. It should be open. It was the street fair. And it's a good place. It was very good. We haven't been there in a while, so she wanted to go. She knows I like it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So we go to another place, fine. And then we have to, it's a long, exhausting day. So now it's another hour before we eat. We go to the supermarket to get food for, not only yesterday or whatever, but get set for the week, specifically Sunday. And she said she's going to make chicken salad for Sunday. So I could watch the games, have a little chicken salad, no big deal, on rye, whatever.
Better than what the Jets are usually chicken the other thing.
Yeah, point is, not this elaborate sauce or any kind of big thing, chicken salad. That was the plan yesterday.
Pretty basic stuff.
She wakes up yesterday, has a little bit of a headache, her back, pulled it back, couldn't make the chicken salad. So we had to call in and order pizza yesterday.
Oh, man. Boy, she went on the DL, huh? On a Sunday.
Chicken salad. And then she gave me the option, said, if you want to make it.
No, I'm not making anything. I'm watching football.
That's exactly what I said.
Yep.
Let's just order the damn pizza and call it a
What'd
day.
you get? Just pizza?
Yeah.
Nothing else like a hero or nothing else?
A little chicken parm hero wasn't very good. We tried a new spot. Whatever.
That wasn't good?
I mean, put it this way. Not that I want to go back living at home, because that's obviously going backwards.
Yep.
Nothing beats waking up on a Sunday morning.
I know.
Smelling my mom's sauce.
I know.
Or the fried meatballs. Or the ravioli.
I know,
or the
man.
brajol.
I know. And I'd come home from whether as I got older, like when I was out or just coming home from a game, and she'd always set aside 2 meatballs and a piece of bread, and she'd let me dip it in. I'd go down and watch the Jets and the Giants. Mom always hooked it up.
I didn't have to get up to go get it. It came to me.
Yep.
I didn't have to clean up. Scott is calling from Haverstraw, New York. What's up, Scott?
Oh, Scott.
Boys, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm a Jet fan back from when I was a kid in '69. Been through the ringer like all the other fans out there, and that includes that pitiful and atrocious display of offensive and coaching ineptitude yesterday.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Okay. But I am curious about something, and I'm looking for your opinion on this. I bought into the whole culture change, thing here, and and I want to be behind Aaron Glenn, like you, BT, but I was thinking through these losses. This is why we're all talking about what are the changes, and hopefully they're thinking about what are the changes to happen here. But if that game, if they had not made just one of those mistakes, and the Jets had won with the way that they were playing that game, and with the way that Denver was playing that game, what do you think would be happening in that press room after that game if they won that game? What kind of strutting, what kind of justification for that play would be put out there by the coach?
But I don't.
That's what worries me, because I want progress.
Okay. Let me just make sure I understand and we understand what you're saying here. So basically, because the Jets, if the Jets would have won a really ugly game, he would have been able to bypass some of the critiques and maybe it would not be an accurate reading as to how they actually played. I guess that's what you're saying, right?
That's exactly right, because you look. Aaron Glenn is a stubborn guy, right? We see that a little bit of, and so to hold on. If he won that game with the way that the team played, there was. I can hear it. He would be sick, and that's our plan. This is part of what our process. It's going to be ugly games, but we're going to keep pushing through this when we all know that. As an example with Justin Fields, that he is not the answer.
I think they know that too, though. I think they know that too at this point, Scott, and thank you for the call. It's why, to me, BT, I wouldn't be going based off of the results. It was an ugly game regardless, but had they made a different decision, let's say, to kick a field goal in the end that won them the game, at least that would have been one less thing we could have been critical of Aaron Glenn for. I would hope he would have stood up and said, look, it's great to get a win. We desperately need to win. No apologizing. Wins are hard in this league. But
we have a lot to clean up. And I think he probably would have struck a really good balance there. I do. I think that, when you're backpedaling as he is with no wins, I don't want to say that you say things that you don't mean, but maybe you overthink things and misrepresent whatever was really truly happening or the process that the decision that you made in real time. I think he's a smart guy, and I think that he's a real person, which is nice because I didn't feel like too often Robert Saleh, who's also a nice guy, he just didn't seem like he was a real person. I felt like I was listening, I don't know, to somebody who just wasn't real. And I don't feel like that with Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron's going to be open to learning from mistakes, and I think it would have been humble in victory. And by the way, we'll find out because I think there's a good chance that they win the game. Eventually he's going to win a game. And if he shoves it down our throat throat, well, then he didn't learn anything. But I don't think that's what we'll get.
And that's the biggest reason why I believe in Aaron Glenn is because I believe in his mindset. I believe in him being open and honest. What I don't like to see, and we've seen this at times throughout the course of the first 6 weeks, he's getting away from who he really is, starting to let some of the noise get to him. He's still young. He's still learning as a head coach. He's got to get through that. And once he does, then I think he'll be unstoppable as a head coach. Yeah, you also got to make the right decisions on the field. It's a work in progress, learning as we go. BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019.
This is Andrew Perloff with an Odyssey Sports Minute. The state of college football is in flux, with debates raging about how much players should get paid. But this weekend, we got a big reminder of how much money coaches are making. Penn State opted to fire James Franklin despite a $40 million buyout. It's a system that doesn't make sense. Coaches failing into a windfall. But it's also a reminder there's a lot of money going around. If you're worried the players are getting too much, remember, that's only part of the story. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Our transportation, water, and energy infrastructure is critical. Did you know that those projects are built by the local 825 operating engineers and their contractors? They even built MetLife Stadium and the stadium before that. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employee Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium hot or iced coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions. Participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Wellness isn't just what you do, it's what you absorb, hydrate, and fuel with. At Terra Origin, we combine ancient Ayurvedic wisdom with modern science to support your whole body from the inside out. Gut health for balance, healthy hydration for performance, healthy greens for clean energy and recovery. Because when your body's in sync, everything else flows. Find your formula today at TerraOrigin.com and use code RADIO to save 25% off your first order. Terra Origin, rooted in tradition, built for now.
More BT and Sal coming up on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Looking for the best value on new tires? Get to Town Fair Tire. We honor every valid manufacturer's and competitor rebates and give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
At Audi Manhattan, experience best-in-class service in the heart of New York. Visit their Audi flagship store today, conveniently located on 55th and 11th. Audi Manhattan, where luxury meets excellence.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000. Award in Mississippi.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan. Call of the day with Brendan Tierney and Sal Licata on The Fan.
Today's call of the day is brought to you by Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts. James is calling from Delray Beach. What's up, James?
What's going on, guys? I'm not going to touch on